Kickout Crew. James L. Corai, Brad Stanton, Coach Rosie, Adam from Bama, Mike Whitaker, Devyn Dowling. The Kickout Crew Podcast. Available on all major podcast platforms and watch videos exclusively on YouTube.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 44 of your show. That's right, the Kickout Crew. I want to appreciate everybody for the feedback on last week's episode. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. Want to give a shout out to Gallagher for being our guest and being on. He's a cool guy. You should check him out. We have a very exciting episode today, but that's enough of me blabbing. I'm just gonna kick it out to Devyn to get this train rolling.
All right, so everyone knows me, Devyn D19. We have a huge guest today. It is the NWA referee. He has been part of the 2008 Women's Olympic soccer team as the massage therapist. He, most of the time you'll see him refereeing most of the women's matches or the women's championship matches with the NWA. It is Jarrod Fritz.
What's up, guys? How's everybody this evening?
Man, so glad to have you.
Awesome. Well, I'm honored to be here. Always love hanging out with good fans.
Hey, you came to the right place.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, Jarrod, I recently listened to your episode a couple years ago from the Jay-Z Flair show. You're on. They just kind of did a bio with you on there, so I got most of my notes from that show.
Awesome.
So from the show, you said that you started your fandom when you're about 11 years old, watching Dusty Rhodes with your uncle. And then eventually, a few years later, when your dad got stationed to Japan, you finally were fully able to watch wrestling and became a huge fan then. You kind of moved on to talk about your working with the U.S. Olympic team in 2008 as a massage therapist. That's where I want to ask my first question. How did you get into that? How'd you get to your start with the massage therapy?
So, long story short, after I graduated high school, I took a year off because I wanted to see what adulting life was all about. I know, a dumb choice, right? But I was actually working for Harley Davidson at the time, the local Harley Davidson dealership, and I wanted to see if maybe there was an avenue there for me. And once I started going to school, I actually had the intentions of being in pre-med. I wanted to be a pediatrician. Then I realized I didn't want to go to school for another 13 years and have hundreds of $1,000s of debt. So I transitioned over to nursing and quickly realized that I had no interest in doing that. So they quickly transitioned me into PTA, so physical therapy assistant program. Neglected to tell me I needed volunteer hours. So I was stuck with a whole bunch of prereqs and not enough volunteer hours. And they gave me the option of either coming back a year later and reapplying or doing massage therapy. And at that time, I didn't know what the hell massage therapy was. I was like, man, candles and incense, they got classes for that? What the hell? And got into it. The guy who was the program director at the time was a former EMT, former athletic trainer, very, very, very science-based. He ended up becoming my mentor, and that led me to a working relationship with him. And he was the one that was actually involved with U.S. soccer at the time. The cards kind of fell where they did. I got opportunity after opportunity, and lo and behold, in 2007, they said, hey, how would you like to go to the 08 Olympics? I said, not doing anything better right now, so why not? And that's where it led me to.
Oh, very cool. So that 08 Olympic team, I seen that they won gold. Did you get a medal in that?
They did. It was actually quite impressive too, because two of their biggest stars at that time, Abby Wambach and Christine. I did not. Unfortunately, several years prior, I believe in 2000, they took away the rule where anybody on the adjunct team, which is what I was on. If you look at it, they have the full team. They have the head coach, assistant coach, goalie coach, doctor, and physician. They all get medals, but everybody else, the press officer, the massage therapist, the athletic trainers, they don't get anything except a high five.
Still very cool experience though.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on in this bio, I seen you first got your wrestling experience kind of with Pete Costa. Said that you kind of needed training for an angle that you were asked to be in, and then from there it just kind of led on to you being a referee. In the research, it said that you were trained by Bob Keller and John Schuyler.
Correct.
Could you talk about what those two meant to your career?
Oh, I mean, what they meant and what they still mean to me is indescribable. I mean, if it wasn't for them, realistically, I'd be nowhere in professional wrestling. And it's very interesting because at the time I had no idea who either of them were. And if you guys are fans, which you guys are, you know that John's on Impact now. John's been around for over 10 years, had well over 1,000 matches. He is probably one of the most well-versed people in the professional wrestling industry. And then Bob is the one who actually trained him. So, I mean, getting a lot of training in psychology is where it all started. When I first started training, I went up to the training facility and, we hit the ropes a couple of times, took a couple bumps, and then we sat there and we just talked. And it was talking about psychology. So shortly after that, it's kind of like, yeah, when do we get to do moves? When do we get to actually wrestle? And so I didn't have an appreciation for it then, but now in hindsight, I am so damn appreciative of learning the general psychology of what wrestling is all about, because you don't need big flashy moves to tell a story. It's just facial expressions, it's natural reactions, and paying attention to natural reactions and acting in the right manner to tell the story that you want to tell. Because I mean, ultimately, when you boil everything down, wrestling's nothing but storytelling, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Well, all right. So actually, Adam from Bama, he's a former wrestler himself. Do you have any experience with John Schuyler or Bob Keller, Adam?
No, I just did the local stuff around Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. So the referees I dealt with were the ones that had the Dunlap disease, where the belly's Dunlapped over the belt type deal. And when they get down to count to 3, it takes them that much longer to get back up to referee the match. So we don't get to do a lot of false finishes, because if we do all that, he's out of breath and we're waiting on him to get back on his feet. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to deal with a lot of the professionals, but it'd have been great to run across one of them, though.
Hey, I got a quick question. Do you listen to Reffing It Up with Brian Hebner, Fritz?
I do. Absolutely. Brian's actually a very big inspiration to me.
So I got a question though. They have a part of that show that is called Ref and Review. Do you think that sometimes Brian's a little too critical on there?
I mean, if you know the Hebner family at all, you know that they're all straightforward. They don't cut the shit. They don't need to sugarcoat anything. I think there's a modicum of respect to the refereeing business that a lot of people were brought up with. And as wrestling is evolved, it's evolved into many different branches now versus 10, 15, 20 years ago, where it was very kind of streamlined, all in the same kind of category. So, it's different strokes for different folks. I'm very old school. I put a little flair on it myself. So to say that he's too rough on it, I don't know. I mean, that's just his opinion on it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Hey, listen, I know that you're always probably looking for opportunities out there. So I know you're not going to, I don't expect you to be critical of any organization. Do you think sometimes though, with the AEW is the one he obviously criticizes the most, do you think those referees are just put in that position and they really don't have a choice in the matter?
I really don't know, to be honest with you. I think when you look at some of the backgrounds of some of the referees there, they come from a lot of different sources. I believe it's Mike Knox that did a lot with Chikara, which was very I think it was defined as wrestling meets comic books. So it had this kind of like cartoony feel to it. So you had to be very animated and you had to do these things. But you look at Paul Turner, who's a lot more straight laced because he came up through Ring of Honor and everything. So everybody's kind of got their own things, but I also don't know how vigilant Tony and the agents are about, hey, we need you to do these things. It's more or less, hey, let's get this done with the wrestlers. And I really don't know. I've never been there. So I never actually even talked to any of them personally.
I'll get back to Devyn after this, but I just want, we watch 2 matches every show is what we normally do. And Brian has been in a couple of these matches. And we always joke that, here he is with this ref and review, and now he's counting the 10 in the cage. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately it comes down to, I've been put in the position too, where, an agent will call a match and they need an ending, and sometimes it gets rushed, and sometimes it's kind of like, for everybody's sake right now, let's just go this route. It is what it is.
I got you.
Hey,
Devyn,
I've actually run into Mike Posey. You asked me about the referee stuff, Devyn. Have you had a chance to run across Mike Posey or P-Dog? How they call him in the ring? P-Dog, I think is what he used to go by.
Yeah, Posey was working at NWA when I first started working there. I think he worked the first 2 loops that I was a part of, and then he transferred over to AEW full time.
So I actually got a little bit of experience with him because he was I don't know if you met Cabana Man Dan. Me and him kind of come up together, then he stayed with it and I got out of it. But he was lucky enough to wrestle with, well, I think it was my P-Dog, if I'm not mistaken, but I've got to meet him a few times, but he's probably the highest level referee I've met, other than what ad free shows have let us do. But as far as being in the ring with somebody, I think he might be the top name person that you may know that I've had an acquaintance with.
Yeah, Posey's a good guy, hard worker.
Oh yeah,
sure.
He's amazing. What FTR puts him over pretty well about, taking color in that match, and it's good for a referee to finally get some recognition because it doesn't happen much. It doesn't happen as much as it needs to.
It's the most selfless position in wrestling.
Amen.
Mike,
All right.
did you have something, Mike?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is RefFit?
Great question. So let's see, back in 2017, I separated my shoulder at training, just landed on my shoulder wrong. Cause at that time I was actually refereeing and wrestling. Separated my shoulder. If you've ever had a critical injury like that, your whole life flashes before your eyes and what the hell am I going to do with the rest of my life? And so I was super depressed for about a week and a half. Trying to figure out like, how am I going to get through this? Also, how can I make extra income? So I kind of came up with the idea because prior to that, I was actually doing CrossFit. I was coaching CrossFit. I was participating in CrossFit. I was competing in CrossFit. And I was like, what's something that I could come up with that I could kind of brand myself? So maybe potentially I could make a little bit extra money off some stickers and shirts, something, just trying to find income. So I did a whole parody of the CrossFit logo or the Reebok logo, which is the triangle. If you look at my RefFit logo, it's the exact same images, but it's actually made into a wrestling ring. And the idea was just being, I'm going to get as fit as I possibly can to come back to wrestling because that's what I want to do. And then it kind of transitioned more into just a mindset. RefFit for me is just, it's all about being better than you were the day before. You don't have to be a referee to be RefFit. You could be a fan, you could be a worker, you could be anybody. It's just something to look at to remind you. Like, I feel like if I put it out there in the universe, I have to follow through to it. So if I brand everything and I put it out there, there's no way that I can fall short because then I'd be a schmuck, right? So it's out there. I'm going to be RefFit every single day. I'm going to be better than I was the day before. No doubt.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So all right, back to this bio.
Sorry, Devyn.
No, you're fine.
God forbid
you're fine.
we ask some questions, huh? I know it's your show, Devyn. It's your show.
So you first wanted to get your start with the NWA. It says that you just start putting your name in with Dave Lagana, just putting your resume in, trying to get a hold of him, and then Power debuted. And then you were brought on with the NWA, and your very first show was Into the Fire. You're kind of mentored by Rob King and the aforementioned Brian Hepner. And then that's kind of where we're at today. You've worked yourself up. You're one of the head referees. We see you 2 or 3 times a week. We just recently seen you versus referee in the Rolando Freeman versus Tyrus title match. I just I want to ask.
I'm a big fan of Rolando Freeman. I'm a huge fan of him.
Yeah, Rolando. So Rolando faced Tyrus for the world championship, and you called that match. That was excellent. You called it was Angelina Love versus La Rosa Negra also on that show. I just want to ask you about working with the women's division. What has that really meant to you?
I mean, I think anybody can see that, oftentimes the women's division of NWA puts out some incredible matches. And from a visual standpoint, I'm the smallest referee we have. So visually it makes the women look bigger than they are, which is perfectly fine, and I've worked with Camille through the indies. Her and I used to work on the indies back in 2000. When did I start? 2015, 2016. And we kind of grew up in the indies together. So when I started working for NWA, it just kind of made sense. And, that visual, again, of being a little bit smaller than they are, it makes them look even bigger. So I love working. Every single one of the female wrestlers that we have are just hard workers, and they love to go out there and they love to do their thing. And I just love to be a part of it.
I want to ask something right here. Yeah, being a referee in the women's matches, do you kind of take pride in maybe like buttoning it up a little bit more so like it's presented as like a respectable thing and not just like, oh, here's a women's match, like popcorn stuff, like because as a ring general, how they say referees are, I think if you act like very professional to it and treat it with respect, then it will get treated with respect. So do you take a lot of pride in like doing stuff like that to legitimize it, I guess I could say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a fantastic question. And I mean, I'll even expand on that I do that with every single match that I have, because it is something to be respected. Back when I first started, Bob Keller told me, he goes, the thing is everybody knows it's a work, right? At this point, Vince threw it all away a long time ago. Everybody knows it's a work. But our job nowadays is to have people not believe that it's real, but to question if it's real. Like if you go down there and you put a lot of respect on it and you show urgency when somebody gets hit, that person out in the audience has to go, whoa, did they really get hit? Did they really get hurt? And so you're painting this picture, this illusion that makes them feel more, because we're just as much a part of the match as the workers are, right? And so if we can help create some of that psychology and we can help pull in some of that emotion, it makes that match get over even bigger. I think the old saying is you can have a crappy ref make a great match bad, and you can have a good ref make a bad match good, just by putting in their aspect of it.
Very true. Very true.
I wonder, back with the whole, the referees being animated, I wonder if maybe that's something Tony tells the guys, well, if you get into it a little bit and you make it look like it hurt, like, oh, wow, that really stings. Maybe that will suspend the belief of everybody in the crowd or on TV also. I wonder if that might have something to do to go like hand in hand with each other.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong in that assessment on that. I think the reality is, like I expressed this to any of the referees, the up and coming referees that asked me for my advice, is there's nothing wrong with reacting to a move, to a hit, to an impact. But if you overdo it constantly, it diminishes the value of all those moves. So if you're constantly reacting, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, every single time, the audience doesn't know like what's good. It's so like if you select, it's just like if you ever went out and actually saw a fight, you see people punching each other all the time. You don't go like this every single time you see them punch. But when that uppercut comes out of left field, you're like, oh, holy crap, like that just happened. So I don't see anything wrong with reacting, but you got to make the reaction count. It's just like when you're throwing punches in the ring. A couple of jabs aren't going to be that big, but when you reach back and you lay it in, that's where you want the big pop to come from.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into the match, Devyn wanted me to ask this question, and I've been thinking about it all day because I didn't know how I was going to approach it. But he wrote it, and I said, "All right, we'll see what he says." So if you don't want this in here, just say cut that shit out. But all right, so I'm remarried, and I have a stepdaughter, and it's been an incredible journey. And I heard that you're a stepfather, and I just wanted to know how fulfilling has that been for you?
Oh man, dude, it's been absolutely incredible. And I swear to God, I'm the luckiest stepdaddy-o, as my youngest calls me. My biggest dream growing up from a kid was to be a dad, and when I met my wife, before we got engaged and everything, she straight up told me, she's like, I can't have kids again, and if that's a deal breaker for you, let me know now. And I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, if it's in the stars that this is the way that my life's supposed to go, then this is the way that my life's supposed to go. I think Anthony and Dallas came into my life at 13 and 11, respectfully. And within about a year and a half, their father, we had a big, long conversation, and he sat down and he was like, listen, you treat him just like you treat me. He's just as much your dad as I'm your dad. And,
Excellent.
and so, I get a little choked up about that sometimes, but yeah, they've always been fantastic. They've always been great. There's never been an incident that I can recall where it's like, oh, you're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do type of thing. They've always had a lot of love for me and a lot of respect. And I'm very thankful for them every single day.
Oh, that's great. Devyn, it went okay.
No, that is great to hear.
That's awesome, because my kids have a stepdad and they don't look at him in that way at all, but he doesn't give them the respect, because I got 2 teenagers and he don't respect them. But he expects them to respect him, but at the same time, he doesn't show no attention or don't spend no time with them. So it's kind of like, hey, meet me halfway here. So I commend you big time for that, man, because I know it's not easy to do.
No, it's not, and I appreciate that.
So, James, what do you think?
Man, I think what better time than now, huh?
Are we gonna wrestle some wrestling?
I guess so. Well, it is, if you go to YouTube, it is titled Never Have a Wrestling Wedding, which we always hear that wrestling weddings draw ratings. So, never have one. There's been millions of them. But, hey, they work every time, every single time. I don't know what it is. They always work. I don't get it, but I watch every one. So I guess I can't say nothing. But the match we are currently covering is Team Tyrus versus Team Rock and Roll, is from NWA POWERR number 101, which is POWERR Live. I thought that was really cool. It took place January 31st of this year, 2023, from the Knoxville Convention Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. And it had a match length about a little over 18 minutes. And, Devyn, I can't wait to, who are the combatants and how do we get there?
All right. So the championship series, this is the second official championship series. The winner of the winning side of the championship series, every competitor will get a title match of their choice. So for Team Tyrus, we have obviously Tyrus, but he's not able to compete in the match. We have Allison K, Robin Renegade, Samantha Starr, Carnage, former NWA heavyweight champion Trevor Murdoch, the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, and EC3. And on the other side, we have Team Rock and Roll, led by Carrie and Ricky Morton. First competitor will be La Rosa Negra. The second is Maddie Renkowski. Third, Taya Valkyrie. Then Big Strong Mims, Chris Adonis, Alex Taylor from the Ill Begotten, and Dak Draper.
So what we're going to kind of do here is we're going to talk through the match as well. Probably just have a couple highlights. I have 2 or 3 pages of notes, and if someone wants to give a timestamp of where we're at and do a countdown, we can get this party started.
Well, with it being on YouTube, can we actually do a share screen and do it that way?
James is scared.
That is above Us. I don't know if we want to take that chance.
I think
just
if
in
it's
case.
on
What do you
YouTube, it's
think,
okay,
Jarrod?
but I
Is that-
understand.
Is that something it's NWA POWERR's free on YouTube? You think we get in trouble?
It's free. I don't really know. I don't have an honest answer to that.
Yeah,
I suck at technology and I suck at legal. So
I thought maybe I'd ask, maybe hope you had an answer, but I guess that's okay.
I have no. And my computer doesn't really have the capability to do all that. So
All right, so we're just gonna say watch along at home.
yeah, that would be safe.
You got a timestamp there, Devin?
Yeah, I fast forward it to 50:25.
Okay,
Just right
perfect.
before the competitors come out.
I'm at 50:51. I'm just gonna wait instead of going 8 minutes back by accident.
Right.
All right. So, Fritz, if you want to give us a countdown, we'll go ahead here.
I actually, I'll be very honest with you. I don't have a computer in front of me. I'm coming straight off my phone. So
That's all right.
Oh, you're
You don't
good.
need to watch it. I'm going to ask some questions throughout. It's all fine. Just
I
give
was
us a
there.
countdown and
I
we'll
remember.
start
Right.
You were there?
ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready, go. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Okay. So the first thing I see here is Velvet Sky, Roll Tide.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Bully Ray definitely out kicking his coverage on that one, huh? But
Not anymore.
oh no, I don't know. I can keep that up. But so Fritz, just kind of tell us what kind of match is this?
So this is what we have established as what's called the Team War match. And the Team War match is essentially, no matter how big the team itself is, you establish one contestant from either team, and they start out in the ring with the rest of the team out on the outside of the apron. The combatants will go pinfall, submission, or over the top rope are all ways to be eliminated from said team. Also, there is a 10 count. So if, let's say there's one team that eliminates somebody, you have to a count of 10 to bring somebody else in. The unique twist on this one was that if a competitor pinned, submitted, or threw somebody over the top rope, they had the choice to pick off of the opposite team, wherein the regular Team War, the team decides the order of who's going to be going in there. So it's got a little variation. They wanted to put a cool little twist on the Champion Series for that.
Okay, so like you said, it's an 8-on-8. There are going to be commercials here, as we can see right now. 8-on-8. How was it being a part of a live broadcast?
Well, when you think about it, pay-per-views are live for the most part. So I've gotten used to it over there. It's run of the mill for me now, but it's definitely exciting. And I mean, more or less, the pressure was that this was historic in the fact that it was the first ever live Power. So, you know, what could go wrong could go wrong. You know, who knows? It's live, right?
Any idea why they made this one live?
You know, I really don't know. I think it's something that, you know, as we're trying to grow the company and trying to grow the brand, it's something we kind of wanted to venture in to see how it would go and see where it would take us.
Do you know who it was that created this match? Like with the rule settings and everything?
As far as I know, I mean, when it comes down to the executive producer, it's Billy Corgan and Pat Kenny. Always, you'll see that in the credits. So, you know, I'm gonna take an assumption and say that they're the brainchild behind it. That's my best guess.
So we have both sets of the competitors at the ring now. Is that where everybody's at in this?
Yep.
Yes.
And nothing has
Sure.
started officially yet. But I wanted to ask you, and guys, jump in, please, because I have stuff written down, but this is a little bit of a different format than we're used to. I just want to know, Jarrod, what's your strategy in a match like this? Like, isn't a lot going on?
Absolutely. And I guess the easiest word for this is adaptability. You know, you have competitors on each side that are all different type of styles. You go from lucha to bruiser to technical to who knows what. And it's an interesting combination of it. So it's really just a matter of staying aware, staying focused, and staying ready.
So how were you picked to be the one in the ring compared to one the other ones being outside the ring?
We have
Well,
to like rock, paper, scissors with Rob King for it.
no. So when this all first started, there was a lot of confusion as how it was going to be run. I mean, I can't remember when we did the first Team War, but it all made sense to me. And I believe I was in the first one ever. And then there were several other ones that some of the referees did. So I've told them basically anytime there's a team war, I'm more than happy to do it. I don't have a problem with it. It's not foreign to me at this point.
Do you have more fun as the group type matches, or do you prefer one-on-one, or do you have a preference?
A lot of people in the ring, around the ring, is always chaotic, and with my size being ridiculously small, semi-terrified sometimes when there's a lot of people in the ring. But actually, my favorite style of wrestling match in general is any type of a street fight or a no DQ, false count anywhere type of thing. And a lot of people think it's funny because there are no rules per se, but that gives you more liberties to help create that emotion and that urgency and just the things that I like. Not necessarily getting busted open or anything like that, but I just like things that aren't necessarily like the straight up one-on-one type of deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Adam mentioned Mike Posey getting blood earlier. Have you ever been asked?
I have not.
No, that's lucky.
Does every wrestler here in this match also wrestle for other organizations?
I'm trying to remember the rundown. No, I think there's a couple that are exclusive to NWA, and I mean NWA in the Indies, for that matter.
Okay.
I know La Negra, she does something for out in Texas for what's her name?
Mission Pro.
Yeah, Mission Pro, that's it. She does a lot of work for her.
So
Do you have a favorite person you'd like to work with?
There's a lot of people, honestly, that I really like to work with, and the NWA locker room itself is, man, almost everybody there is just incredible to work with, very easy to work with. One of my biggest pet peeves on the indies is when I work with somebody and maybe I'll put my 2 cents in from a referee perspective so we can help make the match look good, and they're like, yeah, right, whatever, like, who the hell are you type of thing, you're not a wrestler. Or, hey, do I need to know anything? Oh no, just go out there and do your thing. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if your match is the shits, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you don't utilize the referee, then you're missing out, because there's 3 people in that ring. If it's one-on-one, there's 3 people in that ring. And the more that gets into the match, the more participation, the more fun and more, it's just a better match all around, I think.
Absolutely.
Real quick, I'm watching the match right now. It's Robin Renegade in the ring right now, and she's part of the Renegade Twins. Do you see them being real big stars? Even I know they are in the Indies, but even outside of the Indies?
I think they definitely have potential to blow up. I got a chance to work with them multiple times now, and extremely professional in the ring and out of the ring, and absolutely respectful and willingness to learn and get advice and change on the fly as needed, which is very good characteristics to have when it comes to progressing in professional wrestling, in my opinion.
So they were recently on AEW, and they were against Storm and Soraya, and I'm going to tell you, they were taking some bumps for sure.
They were at Impact when we were in Atlanta, were they not, James?
I think so.
We seen them in the crowd one night, and then I think they participated the next night during tapings. So they've been around. I mean, they're getting they're getting noticed.
Well, recently at the last NWA pay-per-view, Nuff said they actually defeated Pretty Empowered. That's Ella Envy and Kenzie Page for the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships. So I definitely believe the Renegade Twins are on a rise now.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jarrod, I got a question here from RJ from Roughing It Up with Brian Hebner. He wants.
Oh, I know him.
How do you maintain your great head of hair?
Oh, that's easy. I'm just lazy and I don't want to cut it.
I wish I'd have done that.
It's a sweet RJ question. That's a sweet one.
So,
I joke about it all the time. I'm just lazy. I don't want to cut it.
So also friend of the show, Allison Faye, another hair question, wants to know who has the best hair in wrestling, men and women.
I don't think I've ever really thought about it there. Geez. On the indies, there's a guy named White Mike, and my wife puts his hair over all the time because it's like Pantene Pro V, like straight up, just silky in the wind type of hair. When it comes to when it comes to the pros, I don't know, man. I don't really look at people's hair. I don't think I have.
We have to
I don't
have.
think I have an answer for that one.
He's too busy
I have
looking
to
at
sit there and
shoulders,
think about it. Yeah, exactly.
So I did notice in
Stone
this
Cold
match-
Steve Austin, he's got the best,
Yeah, I agree with that.
My
100%.
man.
Mark
He's
Briscoe,
got the
Mark
Brad
Briscoe.
haircut.
right?
You know, he got that from me. I just wanted you to know.
No,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
So why the second referee on the outside?
There's actually two referees on the outside.
Okay. even better.
So in traditional team wars, it's usually a team of 3, I believe. And when the person's eliminated, they do have to go to the back, kind of like Royal Rumble style. This one did have a bit of a change up in the fact that they wanted everybody out there for whatever reason, I guess confrontational reasons or whatever. And that was the main reason to have the referees, because if you saw at the beginning of the match, there was a little bit of a confrontation between the women. So we had to settle them down there. And you never know, what type of, to use a fancy word, tomfoolery may happen there. So, we do have to have some extra eyes and everything like that on the outside.
Why didn't you kick everybody out and ruin the main event? Because they brawled before the match.
Right. Well, bell didn't ring, so.
Yeah, true. I do have I kind of wanted to ask this. While I was watching the match, when they go to the cameras on the ring side, you always seem to be like not in that shot, but obviously on the hard cam, you're going to be on that shot. But is that something you self-consciously think, like, to kind of get out of the frame so it's just the wrestling, or does it just happen that way?
Well, going back to what we were talking about earlier, as far as like referees' responsibilities, that's one of the responsibilities is don't be in the camera's way. So I do try to be very, very aware and using my peripherals to make sure that if there is a camera there, that I can be out of the way. Sometimes we'll get the Iggy on the radio that, hey, move left, move right, whatever, to get a better shot. It doesn't happen very frequently because I am pretty vigilant about making sure that I'm not in the way of the cameras, because we're not the highlight of the actual match. So let them do what they want to do, get the good shots, and be there when I need to be there.
Yeah, I noticed you were moving around quite a bit. RefFit, huh?
That's why I do it.
How hard is it to, when you start out in the indies, you're not used to that hard cam shot or cameras over your shoulder. How hard is it to kind of transition from the indies and then transition to the hard cam, knowing, okay, well, crap, I'm in the middle. So how was that transition, and how hard was that for you to do?
Personally, it wasn't too difficult to work with. I was able to work with PWX out of Charlotte, and they always filmed a lot of their stuff. And I think I started working with them maybe 2 or 3 years into my career. So I always had hard cam, and we had roaming cams there. But it makes a huge difference. And it wasn't like this in Knoxville, but when we're in the studio, you have hard cam, 2 pedestal cams, and 2 roaming cams. So you have the pedestal cams and the hard cam. So your horseshoe becomes extremely limited as far as where you can be and everything. And it's honestly just being aware. That's the biggest thing that I tell referees is you just have to be aware. You have to be aware of everything that's happening in the match, whether it's on the outside or on the inside.
Why you're the official.
So just to ask a couple questions more about this kind of match. What is the reward here if the one team wins?
So in this case, everybody on the team that wins gets some sort of a championship opportunity of their choosing, that they can select at any point. I believe it's a year. It's kind of like Money in the Bank. You have like a year to cash it in. As you guys noticed, if you watched the most recent pay-per-view, Alex Taylor already cashed his in to go against Kerry Morton for the junior heavyweight title. So it's just something to have to be kind of unexpected. And it's just kind of elevating it a little bit more than just a single Money in the Bank type of deal.
Okay.
How good is Kerry Morton, and how good of a kid is he? Because I met him in Tennessee, and you talking about just a respectful, just he come talk to me like he's known me for years. That's the first time I met the guy. Just super respectful. Just How about him? Just him
No,
being
no,
being that.
you're right. Nail on the head. I mean, he's a damn good kid. A lot of respect, a lot of drive, a lot of fire. Always wants to make sure that everything, I mean, he's got a good dad, he wants to make sure that everything that he does in the wrestling business means something. I mean, he's a third generation, he's got a legacy to live up to. And so, I think he does everything right for that.
So could they have tagged in a male performer here? The female?
Where are we at in the match? Sorry.
So the females kind of ended and it just went right into the men. Technically, with the rules, could they have tagged in a male performer at any time?
Yeah, we just passed Taya and Carnage.
Okay. So that was kind of the point of as we did this, we'd never had an intergender aspect of it before. So this was all new to what we had there. And we don't really do a lot of intergender unless it's sanctioned for it. We always do mix where, if it's a male's got to be in. If it's female's got to be in. Something that Billy really likes versus intergender. He doesn't have anything against necessarily intergender, but it's something we're trying to find some consistency for. So originally the idea was if a female was in and then a male came in, then that female would have to select a male. And then the way that it turned out is there wasn't even really enough time for her to actually select a male if you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Immediately eliminated by Carnage.
That's why we were, and that's something I definitely noticed. But also one more thing, no negativity. Okay. Don't take this as negative, but were you surprised when Tyrus became champion?
Yes and no. I mean, the way that if you look back at everything, his pathway up to that point, there was a lot of headwind that was carrying his sails. He's got a great demeanor for the business. So in that aspect, no. With everything that happened with the triple threat with Trevor and with Matt there, I mean, yeah. It's kind of surprising because I honestly didn't even know at that time.
Yeah, we are never critical of the performer itself. Sometimes we get critical of a match here and there, but we have respect for all the performers. I just like to hear what you had to say because I read everything online, everything like that. I was like, what's the problem here? But I'm glad that things are working out for him for real. I'm a Funkadactyl fan, right? But
I got a good question. How long did it take for you to perfect that slide to get to the 3 count? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I think it's just something, and honestly, I don't want to say it came naturally, but one of the first referees that I ever studied was Tommy Young, and Tommy Young was a slider from day one, and I think that's just something that kind of instinctively happened because I don't know. I watched a lot of older referees that did the whole fall straight to their knees or whole fall straight to their hips, and as a massage therapist. In the health and fitness world, like I know how detrimental that is to your body, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. So the slide just, I guess, was.
I figured you might have like a baseball background or something like that.
No, I was actually horrible at baseball. Unless it was full contact, I sucked at it. I sucked at basketball. I sucked at baseball. Football and wrestling, I've always been good at. So
you just want to kick ass. I get it.
Fair enough.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, so right now in the ring, we have the Thrill Billy, Silas Mason, and Alex Taylor tearing it up. Adam said something earlier about Kerry Morton have a lot of potential and stuff in the ring. I think both these two, Alex Taylor and Silas Mason, have a lot of upside and potential to make it someday really big in this company. Could you talk about them too?
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartely there. I mean, Alex is a tremendous worker. He's always got a lot of focus, a lot of drive. Danny Dales is at his side. You never know what happens there. Silas is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, if you saw the pay-per-view, enough said. I mean, he may be the fastest rising star at this point, and not just in the NWA. Just if you saw him 6 months ago to where he's at now, and the attraction that he's getting on social media, it's undeniable for that guy. He's amazing.
Yeah,
I love the Brian Pillman tights. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I like it too.
When I was first introduced to Silas, it was because of NWA on USA with Pollo Del Mar by his side. And at first thought, they're just out there like screaming at the fans and stuff, instant heat. And then he was proving it in the ring. And I was like, this guy's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. And recently I've seen that he was actually signed full-time to the NWA now.
He did just sign full-time. Got to strike with the iron's hot, I guess.
Jarrod, I wanted to also ask you about Devyn's favorite wrestler, Trevor Murdoch. Now, I just wanted to ask you, do you feel that Trevor Murdoch is the example of past NWA and present NWA of what they want to project?
As a representative or as a wrestler, or
as both, as a representative and a wrestler?
Absolutely. I mean, he's wrestling through and through, and if you know his history, and I've been lucky enough to sit down and share time with him and learn about everything he did with Harley Race, everything he did with the WWE, and as he went through, and he's if you read a lot of the older stuff from the early NWAs in St. Louis and everything, and they wanted bruisers. They didn't care if you were a body guy. They wanted somebody that in a bar fight you'd be terrified of. And I think Trevor, I don't think I'd ever walk up to Trevor and be like, "You want to go, dude?"
No, not at all.
And he's respectful and he loves the business, and I think he projects that in any of his interviews, any of his promos, anytime he's representing the business.
So EC3 is in the ring now for me, and
we are down to the final two. Sorry to cut you off, Brad. Down to the final two: Dak Draper and EC3.
Is EC3 as impressive in person as he looks on TV? And are you surprised he did not quite get the rub that he needed, or the opportunity he needed the main roster on WWE?
With WWE, it's such a interesting dynamic. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that get pulled up to the main roster that get lost in the shuffle, or maybe they just don't know what to do with them. He's definitely one of the ones that I think probably had the potential to do a lot more. In person, he's very impressive. Everybody would say physically because he's got a great physique, but mentally, he's absolutely impressive. It's just when you get to, I mean, yes, if you look at his promos and his vernacular and everything that he says, it's tip top. But the way that he delivers, the way that he puts it out there is very, and it's not that much different behind the scenes as well. So,
that's great.
Have you ever been in a position where you don't know how the ending's going to go?
Yeah. More on the indies. I don't think I've ever been put in a position with NWA, but in the indies, yeah, there's been multiple times where, I mean, it's the old school, hey, let's call it in the ring. Okay.
So you've actually called a 3 count, not knowing it was going to be a 3 count before you did it?
Absolutely.
That's amazing to me.
And it was a crossbody.
So just so you know, Mike Chioda was just recently asked that question, and he said no. Yeah. So I just wanted to hear what you had to say on that, just because of his answer to that too.
So I'll tell you a quick little story. George South celebrated his 60th birthday, and I was able to go for the show. They had a little honorable show for him at the AML Training Center. And I only refereed his match. But the rule of the whole entire show was nobody knew if they were going to be a babyface or a heel. They got picked randomly right before the match. There was a little, roller thing. Hey, this person and this person. And the referee was given the finish. And they had to decide who was going to take the finish. So you didn't even know at that point either, but it was like the referee walked up to whoever the first person was out there and said, "Hey, this is your finish. I don't care who it is, but that's it."
That
and George
fun.
Yeah, George is the same way. I mean, I knew he was going over. It's his birthday. I mean, like, you're not going to put George South under on his birthday, but it was a really good match. Him versus Movie Mike was a really, really good match.
Speaking of good matches, I think we have an ending here, right, Devyn?
Yeah, Dak Draper just rolled up EC3 for a shocking ending for me, honestly.
Yeah.
You caught him off guard there. Dak Draper, he's another one of those recently signed to the NWA guys that has a lot of potential. He's big size, great look.
If you pay attention to his social media, he'll tell you it's just all genetics. He doesn't want to screw it up with exercise and diet.
I've got something that's kind of away from the match. How is it being in the locker room with people like, Trevor Murdoch, Tim Storm? Let's see who else we got. I'm trying to look at the roster. The Mortons. I mean, just all that knowledge back there in the back. How does it feel just sitting there listening to these guys talk about the old days and just all that knowledge back there? How's it feel just sitting back there just listening to these old guys talk about it?
Fortunate, extremely fortunate. I mean, I've always been a sponge for knowledge in every aspect of what I do. So I'm the type of person that I'll sit there in the corner and I will just listen because I want to know. I want to know people's perspective and I want to know where they came from. And, little things like that actually help me work better in the ring as well. I can't really exactly create any type of a formula of how it helps me, but, when I remember things that they said or remember things that they did, it's funny, man, when I get in that ring and that bell rings, everything switches. People ask me all the time and they're like, hey, do you remember what'd you think about this part of the match? I'm like, I really don't even recall that because I'm just there, doing what I do on auto drive, I guess you could say. But I am very fortunate enough to be able to share a locker room with those guys.
You don't have to go with specifics as far as story-wise or anything like that, but is there just somebody back there that just like, wow, it just surprises you every time you see them? Just they tell you something you didn't know, or they maybe shared a story with you and they just surprise you, or you're just like wowed every time you talk to them? Is there somebody that just sticks out to you that just you pay attention more to than anybody else in the back?
One of the older ones, definitely Tim Storm, because I'm a huge fan of James Beard as a referee and all the stuff he got to do with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds and all that kind of stuff. So I get stories of him and James and everything they've done. More recently, and this is on a personal note and everybody knows this, but Tom's journey, to sobriety and everything like that, and just learning a lot of the stuff that he had to go through and deal with himself. And I consider Tom and Kaylee or Camille very good friends. They've become very close with me, very special to me. And I'm really thankful and honored to get to share a locker room with them.
That's awesome.
I got a quick question. If you could sit down and have a conversation with anybody, whether it's a referee, wrestler, or whoever it is, who would you like to sit down and say, have an hour-long conversation with?
All right. Are we sticking to wrestling? It doesn't matter if it's a wrestler or a worker, or are we saying anybody?
Anybody. Just anything.
Damn. That's a tough one.
If it'd be easier to keep it wrestling related, we can
if it's easier doing that.
Oh yeah. If it was wrestling related, William Regal, I think, would be a really cool one to sit down with. I would rewind 5 years ago and say Dr. Tom Pritchard, but now that I get to work with him on the regular, Dr. Tom's great to talk to. But yeah, I've never had the opportunity to work with William Regal, so I think that would be fantastic. I think it'd be really, really interesting to talk to any of the Von Erichs. Particularly David. Nice. I think he was, and Bruiser Brody would be a great one to talk to as well, just because of his psychology, not only in the ring, but how he perceived the business and how he wanted to work, and how he always kept himself an attraction.
They said Scott Hall was good for stuff like that too.
I think that would have been a really good one as well. I got to do a big time wrestling where him and Nash were there just to do a speaking engagement. And I didn't get to say much more than hello to him type of thing. And that was about it. And now we look at it and I really wish, I got into the business and I never wanted to be a mark. I never wanted to be somebody, oh, can I get your autograph? Can I take a picture or anything like that? And, hindsight now, I shared an elevator with Harley Race and never said a word with the exception of hello, type of thing. And It's just like, oh man, shoot yourself in the foot. Bobby Heenan, I was in the same room as a Bobby Heenan one time and never really got to say anything. So I've taken that with a lot, Mike Chiodo was backstage at Tampa for Nuff Said. And it kind of blew me away. I was like, holy crap, like this is awesome. And I was sitting there the whole entire time, and I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, just don't mark out, just don't mark out. And after the show, I walked up to him and I'm like, hey, love any critique, any feedback, anything that you can give me, it'd really help. And he gave me a lot of good words that gave me a lot of confidence. And then the very next day, Bill Alfonso is in there. So like, it was really, really cool. Within a 3-day period, I got to have Kyoto and Alfonso watch me live and then work with Bobby Fulton, which was really kind of surreal.
That's awesome.
Did he have his whistle with him, Alfonso?
No, he did not. But I actually worked with him before at the WrestleCade, and he did have the whistle, and I really wanted to do things with it.
Yeah, we feel the same way.
As a fan, it's a bit much.
I am curious about one thing, and I do a bit on the show. I do like random dad jokes. Do you have just a random dad joke that you love to tell people, or something that just sticks out? Because you being a father or stepfather yourself, is there one that you just love to tell? One that just sticks out?
Yeah, and I have to give credit to Willie Nelson for this one because it's an old Willie Nelson joke. Ready? 3 guys walk into a bar. You figure one of them would have seen it.
Yes.
Willie Nelson for you, baby.
That's good.
I know you got to go in a few minutes here. I just wanted to ask you one more question from, again, RJ from Reffing It Up with Brian, having the guys on it today. What's one thing you change with refs today? Yeah, right? RJ.
Yeah, no, thanks, RJ. I'm going to go write him a scathing tweet after this. No,
I'm just glad Money Mike didn't ask any questions. We'll be here all night.
Oh, shit.
No, as a whole, and this isn't singling out any, one, because there's great ones that do this. There's ones that don't do this so great. I think that I would like to see more focus to the actual position of authority more than anything else. I think it gets lost in translation sometimes, that, if you don't listen to a 5 count after a tag's made, it buries the referee. If you don't, if you cheat right in front, I was actually having a discussion with some of the people in the locker room as we were trying to call a match to make sure that it made sense, is you don't get heat as a heel cheating in front of the referee. That gets heat on the referee. So if you're going to, the old methodology is to get away with it, so do it when the referee can't see it. So that way, when the referee finally catches you, the crowd gets to pop, So I don't think there's a lot of workers that respect what the referee has to say. And I don't think there's a lot of referees that put their foot down to be like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like we have a position to play here. Let's play it, because that'll make the match even, 1,000 times better. So yeah, definitely focus to authority, I guess, is probably the best answer to that.
Excellent.
I was always a huge fan of when they put him in the move and they grab the rope, they just kind of reach back to the rope and, oh, nope, I didn't do it. And that third time they finally get caught and the referee kicks the arm off the rope. I was always a big fan of that one. That sticks out to me for some reason. I love that.
No, and it's funny that you say that because I called a match here recently with somebody and they were going to use a rope hold for a finish. And I say it always bothers me when you use a rope hold for a finish and you count the 1, 2, 3 and you get up and the ropes are shaking. It's kind of like, well, I'm not that dumb. So I told that person, I'm like, listen, when you grab the rope and when I count 1, 2, 3 and I go to call for the bell, I want you to fall on top of the ropes and just hold them. So that way it takes away that illusion of like, what the hell just happened here? Same thing with like, if somebody gets some, spit in their face or something like that, or the mist or whatever, it's like, blow it away from me so I don't see it floating in the air. And then whoever's taking the pin, cover it and wipe your face. So if I do see residual, it's like, well, how the hell did that happen? Like I don't have the visual to see it actually happen. So therefore I can't call it, but shenanigans ensued.
Why is this man doing refereeing? He should be booking matches and being on, damn. I mean, because it makes sense. Oh my God, it makes sense. It's so crazy how it makes sense.
Yeah, you got to talk to Billy.
In that defense, I actually am doing booking for a company out of Georgia, Thompson, Georgia, called Viral Pro Wrestling. We are on IWTV. So if you guys ever get a chance to watch it, anything from October of last year is the stuff that I started booking. So there's an October show, a December show, and we just most recently had a February show. So, if you guys ever get a chance to watch that, you'll start seeing the stories that I actually have been writing and putting my 2 cents in.
Awesome.
Yep.
Is it Viral Pro Wrestling?
VPW, Viral Pro Wrestling, based out of Thompson, Georgia.
And where did you say we could watch that again?
IWTV. You can download the app. I want to say it's like $3 a month or something like that. I don't even know. But I mean, they've got a lot of different indie promotions on there.
Yeah, I think New South is a part of that, which that's a whole different story down the road. But is there anything else that you can kind of put out there for us to catch you on, or something we need to be looking forward to? Or
well, I got several other local promotions that I work with that don't have any type of online presence or anything like that. We've got a show next weekend here in Hanahan, South Carolina, for Old School Championship Wrestling. It's always a really great crowd. So if anybody's watching and in the area, come and see. We've actually got Rodney Mack and Jazz coming, Gangrel and Kevin Thorne. Kevin Thorne. John Schuyler's usually there. He's one of the faithful there. So we'll be there. Other than that, I've been doing just a lot with NWA here recently, focusing a lot on that. And of course, the Viral Pro Wrestling, doing a lot of the booking, which the last show that we had was actually the pay-per-view Enough Said. So I wasn't even there, but I was still able to book and run everything from far away and on my phone.
There you go.
Well, again, we want to thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with us today.
I greatly appreciate it, guys. This has been really fun, and look forward to doing it again in the future.
How can people reach you on Twitter and any other socials you got?
Oh yeah. So Twitter is the little @ symbol, J Fritz Dre. I can't even speak right. Sorry. J Fritz RefFit, all one line. On Instagram, it's Jarrod.Fritz, and on Facebook, it's Jarrod C. Fritz LMT. And I'm an open book. If anybody has any questions or anything, ask me anytime. I might not get back to you immediately, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, you're pretty easy to get a hold of. I thought you're answering us today pretty good.
Right?
Appreciated that for sure. Thank you so much again. And Devyn, you want to see our friend off here?
Yeah, I just want to, thank you so much for being on, Jarrod. I think this was a great interview, great episode so far. And I'm just excited to see where your career takes you.
Oh man, I greatly appreciate it, guys. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic evening and an awesome day tomorrow. All right.
Thanks,
man. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks,
Man.
guys.
That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jarrod.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was a good time, huh, guys?
Dude, that was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
That was seamless, man.
I think that was really, really good. Good stuff. To our fans out there, that was good shit.
I was going to ask him about Aaron Stevens, coming, because of what we got coming up next. But, I want to keep it kind of current.
And sorry to Efren for not getting your question in, pal. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Devyn.
Yeah, it's Devyn. Be sure to send your hate
I blame Adam
on that one.
I blame Adam.
That was Devyn.
I didn't even know. Y'all don't tell me about questions, so I don't know.
He wrote in text.
You're in a group that you read when you want to read, don't you? You know what?
Well, I can't have my phone at work no more.
Dickhead Brad is back.
It's Richard.
Back to you, James. What's next in the outline, pal?
That was really something special, dude. I'm really pumped about that. Like, I kept just looking at the clock like, fuck, this is going great. Really informative, really good answers and everything, man.
He was great. It was great having him on.
Really
Good
down
job,
to earth guy.
Devyn. Good job.
Yeah, shout out to Devyn. Our boy's becoming a man.
He's not a bird
I won't say
anymore.
that yet, but
Just wait till Sammy Gabar finds out that we said your favorite wrestler is Trevor Murdoch.
Right, here we go.
Oh, just wait.
Hey, now that the physical trainers out, I won't feel bad drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I kept trying to cover up the old logo.
Yeah, as he's sitting on his weight bench. You know. All right, James. Let's kick it into gear, pal.
Well, hey, I mean, that was a really good interview for our show and for your show. And it seems like we just got a lot of exciting stuff going on, as a lot of you know. We posted a little special announcement, this week, last week, whenever the hell it was. But I'm going to kick it over to Adam to, dive a little bit more into that.
All right, so as y'all know, we are actually sponsoring. We're like the lead sponsor of the 2-night event, the New South Heart of the Southern 16 Hoss Tournament. It's their 6th tournament that they've done. Former winners is, of course, our very own good buddy Cabana Man. And actually, there's been a couple more. I believe David Richards. I believe he won a year or two ago. But I know Mr. Neal, he won a couple years ago. But our current champion that holds Human Gold, Kenzie Page, she's actually one of the winners as well. So it's going to be interesting to see Kenzie Page versus Cabana Man Dan. He is the longest reigning Human Gold New South champion. He's going to try to get that back. I believe it's March 4th, the main event of night 2. But we got some shirts ordered. We're going to be there I'll be there on site. I believe another friend of the show is going to be there. I ain't confirmed that. I think I'm going to take my boy with me. So you get to meet little Adam from Bama. So I think we got some interviews lined up. Got a booth going to be there. I'm going to try to get there a little early. But they actually moved. I don't know if y'all have seen it online. They moved it from Hartselle to Florence, and it's because I did find this out. It's because of the owners wanting to actually. It's a money. Let's just say money.
Yeah.
That's the nicest way to say it.
Yeah, it's fine. I like money.
And
salesman.
They're wanting to rent the chairs to them. Like, hey, if you want chairs, you got to buy the chair rentals. And like, come on, man. And so they moved to the brewery out in Florence. They did several shows.
Hard to say, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard to say brewery.
Brewery. We can say it in the South. Brewery.
Man, oh
we
man.
say beer and brew and brewery. But it's a 2-night event. I believe I think I'm just gonna stay there for the whole weekend.
Fuck yeah.
And just make it easy on us. Me and the boy. He's gonna help me do some interviewing and whatnot. So, and be on the lookout for a special interview I'm gonna have with a certain would you say announcer, commentator of New South, Mr. Carmen Michael himself. I'll get with him probably in a few days, next week or so. So hopefully it'll be out by the time everybody hears this. But and I reached out to a couple of more people that I haven't even talked to you guys about yet.
Oh,
so
appreciate
I'm
that.
waiting to get a yes or no from these people before I make any kind of. I don't want to jinx it, but I have reached out to 2 people that I ain't even told y'all about yet. So knock on wood, hopefully I hear something.
Appreciate you, Adam. Appreciate all you're doing. We are extremely excited for the show. And we're going to keep talking about it. So
yeah, check out the video. They give us a shout out. They got our emblem at the bottom of the screen. They show us at the beginning of the tournament when they do the bracket. I don't know what the video is actually called, but it's when they actually reveal the tournament bracket itself.
It's called revealing the tournament bracket.
Yeah, reveal the tournament bracket. That sounds good to me. But it's brought to you by the Kick Out Crew podcast, and I about peed myself when I seen it for the first time. So I'm excited, guys. I don't know about you guys.
it's called marking out for yourself.
I guess just knowing that I'm going to be there with the guys and just being in the middle of it, and just man, I wish one of y'all could come out there with me because it'd be amazing to have 2 people representing.
Even if I quit my job, I can't go. It's my daughter's
Stay
prom night.
tuned.
She'll have another prom later. It'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true. She will have a senior prom as well.
There you go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and y'all come out and see your boy's little boy, and you never know who'll be there.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, you never know who might show up.
Boom.
Ching ching.
Fuck yeah. Well, let's keep this rolling. Checking in with Mike. Mike, seems like you got some couple things cooking over here. So, what you got for us?
Well, I want to go off and say that starting sometime this month or next month, we're going to start doing a little bonus watch along episodes. So maybe once, twice a month, we're going to take one of you fans, have you guys come on, and we'll watch a match of your choosing and just have like a little good time, a little bonus episode. It could be me and Devyn or Adam. Brad's never going to show up. James might show up every now and then. The one thing we are going to go for is a watch along with Brad and Amy. That is definitely going to be in the works because we have to see them watch a Precious match.
What the fuck
But
is
yeah,
that?
if you guys would be interested.
Proof that we do not rehearse this.
Sunshine and Precious.
Exactly.
Let's have a megasode of Brad and Amy, Sunshine and Precious for like 4 straight hours.
You
What are
talking
the
about
matches?
it?
Yes.
What are they? All 10 matches, 8 minutes combined?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you talking
I mean,
about Amy? If we're talking about Amy, real quick, I was a guest on the Palm Water Dave show, and she gave us some trivia and whatnot. And I asked her if we could do a F, Mary, Kill, and she shot it down so quick, and it broke my heart. I just wanted to do one, and she wouldn't do it. So, but you can
Of
catch me,
course.
Bruno, James Sorensen on the Palm Water Dave show. I think it dropped the 12th. So
And we're not talking about downtown Bruno. We're talking about Frank Bruno.
And not the
Frank
boxer,
Bruno.
Frank
that
Bruno.
may or may not have went downtown, but
Hey,
that's neither here or there.
Anyway, Mike, sorry to
National.
interrupt you.
hey, shout out to Sorensen mentions on 2 straight
It's great
episodes.
stuff.
There you go, buddy. Love it.
Yep. So yeah, so if you guys would definitely like to be a part of it, hit us up. You know how to reach us, and we'll make it happen. That right there is gonna be a more flexible time than just joining on a regular podcast. So I mean, it's y'all's show. We love you guys. We want you guys on more. We want to interact with you guys as much as we can. So let's see what we can do with this.
Some of us want to interact with you. Brad hates every one of you. Just remember that. Man, hey, for our audio listeners, that is what we call a joke. You can't see our reactions. I realize a lot of people listen to audio, so they're probably like, "Hey, James is an asshole." It was just a funny. That's what we try to do here. Laugh. Maybe we'll crack a joke here and there. Fritz had
If
a
we
good
can.
Waka
one.
waka.
Yeah. Well, hey, Mike, what better time than now to do a little? You got a topic for us this week?
Oh yes, why not? I thought we were gonna do a match first.
I just
but,
do it.
I mean,
Dick.
Hey, man,
Yeah,
knock it out of the park, buddy.
So-
It's your show.
I mean, it's gonna be a couple weeks away. So, but we got WrestleMania coming up, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff about dream matches.
Hey, we're
and-
actually talking about something in the future, so I'm down with it.
yeah. Right. So, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff about dream matches. So we got like Undertaker Sting, we got Stone Cold and Hogan, we got Goldberg versus Sammy Guevara. All this stuff.
Yep.
Well, Goldberg would kill him. That's exactly why that's a dream match. So we got all these things, that could be a main event for WrestleMania that people would like to see. Let's main event Cockamania. Kick out Crew Mania.
Boy, I didn't know where that was going.
Okay.
But
So
say, I'll
I got a list of
participate in
names.
the short people match, if you know what I'm saying.
I seen y'all's look, so I had to make sure I said it right. So I got a list of names, and I'm gonna give you guys a superstar or wrestler, whether it's today, and I want you guys to give me an opponent that's not wrestling anymore. So whether they're dead or retired or whatever, this match ain't ever gonna happen. So the first one I got is The Miz. Who from back in the day would you like to see him wrestle?
From back in the day, huh?
Back in the day. Somebody that's not wrestling no more. Somebody that it will never happen.
I'd love to see the Miz go one-on-one with the Honky Tonk Man.
No one in their right mind wants to see that.
Listen, they're similar gimmicks. They're both that cocky, arrogant heel.
The
I'd rather see
A-lister and the
those two
honky
on.
tonk star.
I'd
the
love
way
to
you
watch
related
those two
those.
on a mic duel.
So
The honky tonk man and the Miz screaming at each other for 5 minutes. Take my money.
I
Okay.
got one that I think would have been an excellent feud with the Miz, and I think that is Bret the Hitman Hart. Just you have this guy that's a constant entertainer with the Miz. He's doing Miz TV. He hardly ever wrestles, and you have the excellence of execution that all he really wants to do is wrestle. So you have
Yeah.
that side of it that says, "Listen, can you just get in the ring and shut the fuck up?" And you got the Miz being a showmanship. I think that would work.
That is a good one.
I got you one. How about Owen Hart versus Bryan Danielson?
Hey, that's not what I asked.
I don't know. I just heard y'all talking about people that are alive and not alive. I had to walk away from it.
Okay.
Saw that coming a mile away.
Me too. I was
I
like,
have no idea what y'all
oh,
talking
This
about.
not
this
this
is a
not
layup.
Wonka
Mike's
Wonka
gonna
Wonka.
slam this one.
Not Wonka. Did you hear
I have
that?
no idea what y'all talking
Wonka.
about.
Okay, picking an opponent from back in the day for the Miz. Their
for the
prime
Miz.
for the Miz.
Owen Hart. I don't know. I had to get a
Yeah,
snack.
maybe going.
Have some celery while you're at it.
Okay, what about
What is that?
Montez Ford?
Ooh.
So you have a high flyer with Montez Ford.
Look,
So I am going to go ahead and say
Marty Jannetty.
Man, there's a lot of
Hey,
good
step right
shit
up,
going on
right
in the
up.
video version here.
pick it over.
So you said Marty Jannetty, Adam?
There's some good shit on here.
That'd be
I was
good.
thinking Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah.
And then you can come off the top of the cage the way Snuka does it. And then he can do whatever he does off the top of the cage and hit the top of the building.
Yeah, he probably would.
Some good stuff going on in the video version here.
We said Montez Ford, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we stop looking at this pickle
Right.
eating contest?
Well, you don't like pickled, foods,
I
bro?
don't know. We stopped talking about wrestling. We all just started staring at Adam eating a pickle, and I'm uncomfortable.
I thought you
I'm
loved
not the only
pickled
one eating
food, Brad.
anything. Look,
Yeah,
Devyn's
that's like
eating
pickled
crap
eggs and
too.
stuff. I got pickled okra down here.
I got pickled
doing?
eggs.
What are we doing?
I got pickles.
This changed, Mike. It went
The
from
Kickout Crew is a strong supporter of pickled foods.
All right, James. you
Right,
got one?
Brad?
For Montez,
But you love pickles, Brad.
Montez Ford.
part of me wants to pick Eddie just because of I think that'd be a good, like, high-fly showmanship type of thing.
Mhm.
But, man, you got to kind of pick. Well, yeah, it's got to be Eddie, I guess, because I wanted to
Like
pick a
Eddie.
heel, and who better,
That's a good answer. I mean, we love Eddie here. Gosh, jeez, oh man, thanks for bringing him up.
right?
What about
Eddie
I'm looking
Guerrero.
Darby
if
Allin.
you're not paying attention.
what about Darby Allin?
Okay, I got
There's
it.
a humongous size difference in those two. Hey,
Him and
that
who?
works.
You
Because
say
could put
Darby
Ray,
Allin?
too.
Who you want him to face, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes, Darby Allin.
So I get to pick who he faces. I'm saying Mick Foley.
Yes, Brad. You get to pick who he faces.
I got confused. I didn't know if you wanted Darby Allin to face Montez
Vader.
Ford. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Dar-
pick who
Darby
you want
Allin
him
and
to face.
Vader.
So I say Darby Allin and Mick Foley. You say Darby Allin and Vader. I just think the hardcore style, two different types of hardcore.
Hey, y'all are missing it.
Those are two
RVD,
good
baby.
ones.
RVD be good, yeah.
Oh, what about Darby Allin and Tommy Dreamer?
Love it.
Yeah.
What about
That would
Darby
actually be
Allin
really good one, too.
You might
and
still see it.
Hollywood Hogan?
What the fuck are you talking
Okay.
about?
His mentor Sting rivaled against Hollywood Hogan for
You're
all
really
of
getting out
'97.
Well, that was
We're
a,
talking about Brutus the
Got a long
Barber
way to go,
Beefcake
Devin.
and Darby
Long
Allin.
way.
that was a good one.
And
It'd be Brutus and Darby. If we're talking about mentors and their
Oh,
mentors.
okay. All right.
one more current. Go ahead, James. What did you pick?
He
Huh?
didn't want to. He didn't want to play.
No, I picked.
I got one more from the current roster. Yeah, LA Knight.
Yeah.
hmm.
So I'm gonna refer back to my similar to my first answer, how it was all about the mic duel. I would love to see The Rock in LA Knight go one-on-one on the mic.
I'll tell you why I don't like that. Because I feel like the LA Knight is trying to be The Rock sometimes.
Right? I got a
He's got the
perfect answer for this one. Y'all go
catchphrases.
ahead. I got a perfect one.
Go ahead. Go ahead, James. Be perfect.
Well, I mean, hey. What about the American dream, man? LA Knight can do the stupid bullshit Hollywood stuff. And then the common man, baby, come in. If I'll be perfect, dude. Them two
LA
battle
Knight
each other.
Hercules.
LA Knight versus the
Hercules.
Junkyard Dog. Can't tell you why.
Hercules Hernandez, yeah.
LA and Dusty Rhodes. Awesome shit.
I think
Almost
LA
be
Knight
amazing.
could probably work with just about anybody with his personality. I think I think he can fit in almost anywhere. Even a
I
Gatorade.
still like Owen and Brian Danielson.
That'd be good.
That'd be a damn good
All
match.
right. So now let's do some older ones. Juventud Guerrero.
Oh, the Hoobie juice.
Oh, how about versus Nick Gage?
Hoovy Ricochet.
Yeah,
That's-
Hoobie and Ricochet.
Ruby
Would be
and
dope.
Ricochet.
That'd be a great one.
Maybe. Brad.
It had to be Hoovy in his
That's-
prime versus Ricochet in his prime.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be in their prime.
Rey
So,
Mysterio.
Or Bandito.
Rey Mysterio.
Roosh.
Yeah, Roosh.
Still going.
Yeah, Roosh would be good.
He's on our
Watched
TV.
it 25 years ago. I'll watch it again.
Ray and Hoobie.
All right. What about?
What about Hoovy Will Ospreay?
Ooh, that'd be a good one too.
That'd be fun.
What about Ultimate Warrior?
Whoa. Ooh.
Oh, it's got to be quick.
Versus the Paul Bear.
Rolando Freeman.
Wardlow.
That'd be quick.
How about Goldberg there, Mike?
Well, Goldberg's
I got it.
tired too.
I got it.
These
I got it.
rules.
Ultimate Warrior and Rick. Boom!
Yes.
There you go.
I think when I see
Roman,
Rick
it'd be
Boogs, I automatically
Roman.
think Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior, Roman Reigns.
I'm booging out, man.
Devyn, who do you got?
For which one?
Ultimate Warrior.
For Ultimate Warrior. I would go with someone like
Jesus.
Matt Cardona. Someone that could sell for him and like really show the Ultimate Warrior's strengths.
Okay. I got two more. Saturn.
Oh,
The
That's
planet?
Yeah. That's where they
Damn.
need to be.
I'm going to go with Jupiter. It's the biggest one. Probably has more gravitational pull. It'll rip Saturn's apart, and then it'll probably orbit it.
How about Sean Spears?
I like
could
Saturn, Brian Danielson, because Saturn was a damn good. Hang on, Saturn and Canyon.
Canyon, he can't do it no more. He's back. He's
Yeah,
on
he's
that
talking about current day.
current people.
Saturn versus Chad Gable.
That'd be.
Man.
That'd be technically sound.
Zack Sabre Jr. Saturn.
You think Saturn would be good? What about
Darby.
Dean Malenka or Dean? What the fuck is it? Don Moxley. That jumped in.
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
What did you put on your notes? Dean Moxley?
Dean
Yeah.
Ambrose, the British Bulldog.
Oh.
Well, I was
Yeah, he was just
talking
Al
about Saturn.
Snow.
I was talking about Saturn versus John Moxley. That's what I was saying.
I think he could out wrestle him. I think he could out wrestle Moxley. Saturn was
All
a
right,
damn
let's-
good performer. He just hit bad luck.
So I got a cup on here.
I
What
got all the
Was
time.
that the guy's gimmick at the time? He hit somebody. I remember that, and he fell in love with the mop after it. Was that the guy's name? Bad luck. He hit bad
Oh
luck.
yeah, Moppy. Isn't that who that was?
So who would you like Moppy to go up against?
Oh God.
Head.
Hippie.
I choose the scissors from the Acclaimed.
No, the horse from Chavo.
I picked a hand that Mae Young gave birth to.
The piston
Oh,
bear
there
on
you
that
go.
one
No,
WCW pay per view.
Chavo's horse.
All right.
Pepe?
Air throwing
Pepe.
spider.
Pepe, there we go.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Oh, the Alexa Bliss's doll. We can do this for an hour.
And-
I mean,
Oh, we've done it for 15 minutes.
All right, one more. Total package, Lex Luger.
Ooh.
I would like Lex Luger to go
Jesus.
against Tony. What's his name? Dang it! Go.
Tony
someone else.
Atlas?
No, Starks.
Oh.
Ricky?
Yeah.
Absolute Ricky Stark?
Absolute.
You say
Rick-
Tony
Rick-
Stark?
Absolute Ricky. Absolute Ricky.
You want to say Lex Luger versus Iron Man?
Yeah.
What about Luger and Cena?
Ooh.
Nope.
You know Adam hates John Cena.
I don't mind John Cena.
What about Luger and
I'm not a big Luger fan.
Brian Cage?
I was thinking that too. Brian Cage taking the pin from freaking man.
Jungle Boy? Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
about him
don't
going
think
for the? Oh well. yeah.
Luger, Brian Cage? Yeah, I can see
That's a
that.
Brian
monster.
Cage in a torture rag. Could you imagine the pop on that?
What about
Lex
Luger
Luger lives
versus,
his big ass up.
Wardlow?
Luger Wardlow.
Luger
Yeah.
versus someone who was in the last match we just covered versus EC3?
There you go.
EC3
They
would
can
kill
look
him.
at themselves all
That'd
day.
be good.
Yeah, for real.
I got all the time in the world for EC3.
Both narcissists.
Both narcissist characters, though, for sure. They ruined him, man. They put him in that elevator with that freaking hardcore title, whatever it is, the 24/7 title. He's in the elevator waiting to get off to win the title. Come on, man. You got
I
to
don't
beast
get how
here.
they dropped the ball with that dude. I
Yeah, the
really
guy's
don't.
perfect. He looks perfect. Make it
There's two
happen.
guys I'll never understand they dropped the ball with. It was him and I'll get back with you later about the other one.
All right, perfect.
No.
All right, I got one more. Just Raven.
Oh, hell.
Darby.
Darby.
Wicked.
Oh,
Yeah,
You think Raven
yeah,
Darby would be
Raven
good?
Darby.
So why
Darby.
didn't you say Raven when I asked about Darby?
Because I didn't think of a Mike.
Because you reminded us.
Good question, Michael.
Pretty much Darby and anybody in ECW, I think, is a consensus of this.
Yeah.
I think so too. And I had a
Eric
couple
Young,
other.
Eric
I
Young,
had a
Young,
couple other
Eric
ones.
Young.
I had Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I had Viscera. I had.
Raven, Eric
So
Young.
this is. Ooh, anybody with there again? Yeah.
That would be insanity.
All right. See. I was thinking like Viscera, have Viscera and Otis go at it. That'd be good.
Fuck yeah.
Big Daddy V.
No.
Talking about the third man.
I mean, he was the third man.
You were there.
Yep.
You were there.
I seen him in the
Viscera
back.
came
Like,
out
he was
and
back
turned
there
heel
behind the
on
curtain, just in case Hogan did not come up. He was right back there.
Lordy, Lordy.
Well,
All right,
thanks
so
for playing. You know, I worked really hard on that. I had a list. I was trying to figure out. I had like 30 people on there. I just didn't know who
I
to
like
name.
it. I dig it.
I could have went on
You
forever.
spent 2 days on that, didn't you, Mike?
I spent like a week on this thing, and Brad wanted to shut me out on it, and I'm.
That's true.
That ain't gonna
Yeah, you
happen.
could have never have done this next week.
No, I can't. I know I wouldn't have been able to do it next week,
He won't
Brad.
be on next week.
No, Brad. Next week I
I
can't. do
mean,
it.
Brad does look pretty sad. I mean, are you still sad about the Super Bowl, Brad?
Oh, funny you
Yeah.
asked. Funny you asked. James, it looks like he stepped on your toes a little bit there. But
Oh no, I love this. I'm
right.
see, people would expect
I've
it from me. When other
I've
people do
been
it,
waiting.
it's
I've been
gold.
waiting to hear it. I've been waiting.
that's when you
So-
know it's gold.
as
God.
I called it on that episode.
we
Fuck
got a little,
you. I called it on that episode.
as you know, we
Bradley,
got-
sorry about your Eagles. You're like, fucking dick.
so as
Suck
everybody, shut the fuck up. As everybody knows, we put a couple in the can ahead of time. As of the last episode, even though it aired after the Super Bowl, we did not know who the Super Bowl winner was. So as an Eagles fan, I went to the Super Bowl party and it was a great time. You know, it was a good game for the most part. You know, it didn't come out the way we wanted to, of course, but you know, the best two teams, or you're supposed to be the best two
Hey,
teams in the
Jalen
NFL.
shows his true colors in big moments.
38-35. It can't be too upset. However, so at my Super Bowl blues isn't really about the loss. It's about who was at the party. Now, am I going to get in a little bit of trouble for this? Because a couple people do listen to this that I am friends with. We were at a party in the neighborhood, and everybody there was pretty much an Eagles fan, except for one guy. So he has his red shirt on, not a Chief shirt, but just a red shirt on. And I didn't really know what was going on, but he was drinking. He was having a good time. Right in his early 20s, Devyn. And, you know, when it started getting a little close, we realized he was rooting for the Chiefs. So they started getting a little close. He was getting a little more and more obnoxious. Okay. And then he does this to me. This little pat on the back. And he says, "How about them Chiefs?" I could feel it from my toes to my brain. Just shoot up like, oh my God, I want to kill this guy right now. Because, listen, I get it. And listen, if you're a Chiefs fan, God bless you. But guess what? He wasn't a Chiefs fan. He was a freaking Commanders fan. So he wasn't rooting for the Chiefs. He was rooting against the Eagles.
I understand. Well, I feel him on that one.
But that's the difference. There's a difference there. Coming to a Super Bowl party and rooting against the team instead of really, you don't have an investment in the team. There's a difference there. So that was overall good time. I have a great team. I know that. They should be around for a few years to come. Good team. Not saying Super Bowl every year, but a good team. And definitely hurt. It definitely hurt. But as we say in Philadelphia, we'll see you next year.
Well, that's as we say in Dallas, actually.
And I'm not making excuses because refs don't cost you the game. You put yourself in that position. So
it was a good game. It really was. It was a good close battle. I feel like maybe,
by the way,
do I
throughout the game, the text. And I will tell you this, Adam, it is true, and Mike, because I know I said it to both of you. The commercials are a lot funnier when you're winning.
Definitely.
What
was your favorite commercial?
My favorite commercial.
You only lost right there the last 5 seconds, so.
I love the T-Mobile commercial, but it was at the wrong time, and I said, "Damn you, T-Mobile, for making me laugh, and I'm mad." But anyway, back to you,
Devyn,
James.
do you have a favorite commercial for the Super Bowl?
What are you doing, Mike?
I can tell you the worst commercial.
Apparently, it's his show.
Roast of Mr. Peanut. That commercial sucked. I scanned the QR code and everything. It was stupid.
I like Mr. Peanut. You can do a lot worse than Mr. Peanut.
How are we not
His
talking about
roast was
fucking
terrible.
clam M&Ms? That's legit, right? Because I had a couple people over. We were cooking out and drinking and stuff. Clam M&Ms, and we went to the website. And, well, maybe I'm going to sound like a jackass by the time this airs, but it was a legit thing, dude. Clam M&Ms. That sounds fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
I did like that one beer commercial with Miller Lite and Girls Like, and it'd be Blue
It
Moon.
was like a Blue Moon commercial. That was pretty funny.
Oh, did you guys see the commercial where like it went back to your home screen for Roku?
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
That got me so bad. I was looking for my remote.
We changed the channel.
Oh.
That was good. That was good. I'll give him that. But the game ended and we lost.
Hey, did y'all like Rihanna having male dancers just flop dicks for like 20 straight minutes, just air humping, flopping dicks for like 20 straight minutes?
I did.
Yeah, no.
And she's the only one in red, but
I
there's
didn't
a bunch
mind
of
it.
white just dancing around her, and she's pregnant. And
I wasn't looking
like
at anything but her, so we're good.
We watched it all on mute, so we didn't listen to it. But all you just see is guys
watched it on a
gyrating for
black
like 20
screen.
straight minutes. I'm like, oh damn, here we go.
All right, James. That's it.
That was it.
We might as well just swing it on over. Take a chair and sit down. Take a table, put it down, and grab a ladder if you need to reach something. Because we're coming up on our second match of this episode, which is Big E Langston. This sounds weird to say, versus Damian Sandow for the Intercontinental Championship at WWE TLC. That is tables, ladders, and chairs. If you don't know. It took place, the match we're covering, December 15th, 2013, from the Toyota Center in God's country, Texas. Houston, Texas, that is, though. Not a fan of Houston. But hey, Texas, shout out. It had an attendance of 14,120. Got to stretch it out for the graphics. It had a buy rate of 181,000, so not their best work by all means. It had a match length of roughly 6.5 minutes, and Meltzer gave this 1 3/4 stars. But that's enough of me blabbing. How in the hell did we get there, Devyn?
So, for the absolutely worst build for any one of our shows of all time, 2 weeks before this pay-per-view, Damian Sandow beat Sin Cara. So he gets to fight for the Intercontinental Championship at the pay-per-view.
Not exactly Mike Gallagher, but I'll take it. All right, Devin.
Hey,
That's about it.
Like,
So, Devin, I want to go right back to you.
It's just like, this happened, so here they are.
Who picked this match?
I did, and I'm going to tell you why.
God!
Because of
To our
what we're about
fans
to-
who actually talked shit to me last night about, Brad picked other matches, thought it was our show. So once again, we apologize that Brad picked another match.
So I want to tell you why. Because we are talking NWA today. We had Jarrod Fritz on. And what has Damian Sandow done since he left, Devin?
He has been Aaron Stevens in the NWA. He's been television champion, tag team champion, and now leading a few different people as a manager.
Oh, did he just get married?
He did at the end of the episode that we just watched our match from. He married May Valentine.
Damned.
So that's why.
And Brad just comes around and totally redeems himself.
So I wanted to ask you, James, how did you like Damian Sandow's entrance, his presentation?
I'm glad you asked, and I figured you would because I'm the Texan. Very, very corny, very cheap heat, and if you notice, the crowd did not give a fuck because the ye and ha and heck y'all. Never heard that one before, buddy. Really tugging at the strings there, jackass. Yeah, I was not impressed. It was a cheap heat attempt, and the crowd did not give a fuck.
Adam, I'm going to go to you on this, and this is just putting you on the spot because I don't think any of us really know. What are your expectations for Big E in the future? And if you want to give a background of what happened to him already.
Well, he took that terrible suplex on the outside from one of the Brawling Brutes. I can't remember his name, top of my head. Rich Holland. Rich Holland, yeah. It was an incredibly unnecessary bump. The over-the-head suplexes are the worst to do, worst to take. And he landed on his head and then broke his neck, so he's in the recovery stages. And if he comes back, it'll be, by the grace of God, really, it'll be a miracle that he can still walk, more or less wrestle. But if he comes back, they should push him to the moon as this big comeback because he could have been seriously injured for the rest of his life over a move that was really unnecessary over a guy that I'm not saying is a rookie, but is somebody who had just moved up to SmackDown. And I know Big E or one of the older guys want to make the newer guys look good, but I think that was just unnecessary on the outside. So right. I just hope when he comes back, they push him to the moon.
The pop when he comes back, when you hear that microphone, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
dude.
I'm gonna hold my breath
it's gonna be
out there.
Fucking awesome when he comes back.
So, Mike, Big E coming out to almost no reaction though at this time. Did he need the New Day to make him a star?
I think so, but the New Day also needed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was the whole combination. That's the only reason why the New Day worked. It's all three of them, and that's why they still go strong now.
Yes, James.
I just wanted to add, on their 5-year anniversary of the New Day, Big E tweeted, 5 years ago, us three guys got together and said that we were no longer going to shake hands and kiss babies. We proceeded to spend the next 5 years shaking hands and kissing babies.
So right back at you.
Yeah, well, because they originally came out as the heel, right?
Yeah, and now it's just like
no, originally not a heel, then a heel, because no one would cheer for them in the beginning as positivity. So they became a heel, then they just were funny as shit. So James, who are the announcers today?
Glad you asked. Shout out to Down Under on that one. We have Michael Cole, we have Jerry Lawler, the King, and we have John Bradshaw Layfield.
Yeah. Devyn, Sandow starts off aggressive as always. Is this a disconnect to his character that comes out, sort of like maybe a Tyler Breeze?
I agree with that. He seems like the cocky, arrogant. You'd expect him to be like shying away from the big moves, especially the bigger athlete like Big E is. You'd be expecting Sandow to try and not get hit, not be aggressive, and go right after the bigger guy.
But here's the thing, though. Him being aggressive, he just had the Money in the Bank and just tried to get the championship from Cena. So maybe his confidence was up right here. more than usual.
And I am going to definitely get to that Money in the Bank, Adam. Right now, though, I want to ask you, Sandow, or there's a big splash from the back body drop from Big E. Adam, Sandow looks good in the ring. Where did WWE actually go wrong?
They didn't know how to use him, so they just put different gimmicks on him. I think he was the genius. Then he started, coming up behind the Miz. And I just don't think they was ever comfortable with him to release him and let him do his thing. I mean, he's super smart in the ring, real great competitor. I just don't think they were all in on him.
Headlock by Sandow, long one at that. Mike, Big E is a huge, strong man, but also a big personality. At first, he was billed as a heater for Dolph Ziggler. Do you think he could ever go back to that bodyguard type and lose the positivity?
I think he could, if played out right, maybe not the bodyguard type, but he could become a big heel. Let him come back, if he comes back from this neck injury, let him come back, turn on the New Day, and he could become a big-time heel. And he has it to where he can become, maybe not the world champion again, but he can be up there with the IC title or the US title or something like that.
James, I see you're shaking your head, but I want to just say 2 words or a name.
Well, I'm shaking my head because number one, I don't want to see anybody on the New Day be healed. But number two, if they were ever to do it, that would be the way to do it, because that actually, like when the day he debuts back, they're all yay, and then that's the only way you could turn him heel.
And if you have him as a heel, he's the type, he has the size and everything else. He could take on both Xavier and Kobe Kingston. He just turn around and plow and take them both out. So if anybody turns heel on that, it should be him.
So what I was thinking was Roman Reigns coming back from leukemia. Roman Reigns came back from leukemia to obviously an awesome reaction. Before that, he was getting booed as a babyface. Was back to an awesome reaction, then gradually started losing it again. And I just think that there is something there with being a heel after making this huge comeback and getting everybody excited. It's just something I don't know if they would do it.
I see it 100%. He just
let him come back.
Shot. They just
He
release
could be
him.
the biggest thing in the world if that happens.
It would be
messing
massive.
my brain.
Where do you go? Because you're gonna set the town on fire, so to say. But where do you go from there? Because it'll fizzle out real quick if it sucks.
Look,
Let's just let him run roughshod over everybody.
I agree.
Sure. So elbow
Bob Holly. Give him the gold limb, beat everybody.
By Sandow, knee by Sandow. James, could the Rhodes Scholars ever make a comeback?
Who?
The Rhodes Scholars.
Sure. I really enjoyed watching them at this time. It was
all right. Fuck this. You didn't watch it.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it either, Mike.
Dude,
it was Cody Rhodes and
it
Damian
was weird
Sandow
watching Big E
as
as
the tag
this
team.
Yeah,
They were a tag team.
Scholars.
Rhodes Scholars was a tag team, Mike.
Oh.
I can't believe you didn't know that. I'm very disappointed in you, Mike.
They were SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
They were feuding as
Who
well.
was it?
Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow.
I don't fucking remember.
You were probably drinking.
Well, the Rhodes Scholar is definitely the opposite of anything I can relate to. You know what I'm saying?
Big E runs into a drop kick by Sandow. Michael Cole mentions the Money in the Bank briefcase that Sandow lost. Devyn, was that the beginning of the end for Sandow?
Yeah, honestly, before his gimmick change, I think it was. It was the end of the Genius character, because where was it going to go? He just lost to the biggest babyface when he had the biggest opportunity that he could ever have. It immediately put him down the card, and he was never able to recover until he changed gimmicks.
Backdrop off the top, shoulder to Sandow from Big E. Adam, did Sandow fall into the same trap as maybe an Aiden English? What I mean by this is Aiden English had Rusev Day that organically got over. And then Sandow had Mizdow, when he basically was the stunt double sort of to Miz, and he got it over. Was that a trap because that's not what WWE wanted?
See, that's damn. It just depends on how you look at it, really, because it's kind of like with Zack Ryder and Brian Myers when they were the Edgeheads. They got that Edgehead stuff over, but it happened organically, kind of like with the Zack Ryder Long Island IZ or whatever. It kind of felt, well, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of feels like if WWE didn't plan it to work out that way, maybe they pulled the plug on it.
So that takes me to you, James. I know you weren't watching at the time, but obviously Sandow had some talent to get things over. Why wouldn't WWE give him a gimmick that they could get behind and let him see what he could do with it?
Well, I think around this time, you got to put a lot of things into perspective around this time period. It seemed like everything that, like, Adam was saying, if they didn't do it, then it was like, fuck, because the brand, we always hear the brand is more important than the star. So if you're starting to branch out and do your thing that's not, in line with what the brand happens to be doing, they're going to be, I don't know, it's weird to be like, they're going to put you in your place type of thing, but they want to show you that they're still the boss. And that's a weird thing to do as a business, but granted, they're worth a shit ton of money, so I guess it worked out. But
it seems like once they put you in that mid-card range, that's where they have their mindset.
Yeah.
That's where you're at.
But Stone Cold overcame it.
Yeah, unless there's some crazy, some prayer of a chance somebody gets behind you. If you're a mid-card, that's where you're pretty much going to stay.
I mean, always remember they hated the Yes movement, and they're showing Yes chants on SportsCenter. And they hated the Yes movement. Like, it's just so weird. Like,
them to get behind
it got
him
so over that ESPN's broadcasting like games where people are doing Yes.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it was unbelievable.
And Vince is like, nope. Like it's just so weird.
Freaking that arena or that. I mean, that was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. So belly to belly by Big E, splash to Sandow. Sandow added 2. Great counter by Sandow to the big ending. Roll up by Damian Sandow. Collision by Big E into the big ending, and Big E with the pin. I know this was only a 6.5-minute match, but I thought it was much better than advertised. I think Sandow. I didn't pick this match because of his in-ring, but I thought it was good. So anyway, guys, I appreciate it. It was a
you
short
didn't bring
one.
up the straps, man. The only pop in the match is
Sometimes I
when
miss
Big E
stuff.
takes down the straps.
Oh yeah, all right, James, take it away.
And then they mentioned like. Who was it? Bradshaw was like, Jerry, when the straps go down.
Oh, King, there's straps. What does that mean, King, when the straps come down?
You damn right. Did y'all notice that? I had a couple things that Cole said. Cole mentions the chairman is here showing you how important tonight is. Wasn't Vince there like all the fucking time? Like, what do you mean? Oh, he's here tonight. Like, wasn't he there all the time?
I got a question.
Cole mentions how the IC champ usually goes on to be the heavyweight champ. And this is what, 8 years later, Big E finally won the belt,
Big E. Do you think Big E would have been as big as he became if it wasn't for the New Day? Like if he stayed on his own?
Nope.
Do you think anything else would have happened to him?
He did have a lot of personality though, but no, they definitely fed off each other.
But you can't show
it. He has that Bobby Lashley look to him.
He's got more personality than Bobby, but
yeah, I think he needed the New Day to bring out that personality.
Yeah. Big E.
Remember, Big E wasn't a big wrestler. Like he didn't go to the Indies. He didn't do all that stuff on the side. He's a product of WWE. He's only a few years in right here, and they already put the strap on him. He's already by himself. He's already dominating. I mean,
he had that Ryback push.
They put a lot of money and a lot of push behind him. With not a whole lot of, a lot of time training or whatever. So, I mean, he's only a few years out right here. Now, I think it's how he sells. Some of the stuff, when Damian Sandow does to him, some of the kicks and punches. I mean, his selling ability this early in his career was great.
I like the match.
Is he world title material to you?
Now, yes. But this was a question I heard the other day. Is he world title material? Is he face of the company material? World title? I think he could carry the strap convincingly, put him on the front of the building and say, this is our guy.
It sounds like Sami Zayn talk right now.
Yeah, is that what it was? Sami Zayn? That's right. It was Sami Zayn. That's right.
Yeah.
But if he
I
comes
have
back
to
with
dis-
his neck injury, can he get that?
I don't see him as
Big E
world
can.
If they do it
champion.
right, if they book him right, yes. But I mean, do we want to hold our breath with WWE? How many times they've dropped the ball with so many good people? They have to do it just right for him to make him look. They don't want him to look like a charity case. Like, oh, okay, well, we owe him the title because he got hurt, so let's do it for him. They could mess
Correct.
up and make him look like that, and it's going to look like shit.
Mike, I think the way to go is the heel that we talked about earlier,
I'd love to see that.
That-
yeah.
because that could really work. And then
I
turn him
think
face.
Fuck
I think
all of you
when
on that
he
heel
comes
shit.
back, if they did something like that, they could push him. I mean, maybe not. Like I said, maybe not the world title, but at least IC title or United States champion, something like that. But I think he needs to come back as a heel. I
Yeah,
would
come
love
I
to see him
fucking
as a
hate
heel.
every one of you right now.
We hate you too.
No.
Okay, let him
Day
come back.
rocks. Dude.
Let him come
Day
back and join
rocks.
the New Day, and then as soon as New Day has that chance to get the tag team titles again, that's when Big E does something like he just waits his time. And 6 months down the road, when they're about to win the titles for the whatever number of time, that's when Big E strikes and causes them to lose the titles.
Right? Yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, that first night come back and boom, turn
It's
on.
either got to be day one or 6 months down the road. It can't be in 2 or 3 months.
This is what you do. This is what you do. You have the New Day in a tag team against whoever your top guy is, maybe against Roman, and Roman's a face now all of a sudden, or Sammy's a face, or Cody's a face, and he's your champion, just with another guy. Then you have them all facing each other. Then you have him come out and think you're getting out the New Day, and you have him kill them all. I don't know.
Well,
Leave 4 or 5 people laying in the ring.
Yeah, and then the booze. And
So
freaking
can we get
James
to
is one of
listener questions before y'all just turn the fucking New Day?
Yeah,
break
let's do
up?
that.
We don't have any
Fucking
more
dicks.
questions. So let's
I
just
hate
go to
every-
let's
Fuck
go to
you
We
all
got
for New
Efren's
Day
question.
breakup.
It's just,
All right,
they've
so
been together
question
so
from-
long. It's coming. It's coming.
It's the best. You can't break them up, man. They sell merch out the
I
ass.
hope they don't. Believe me, I hope they don't.
Hey, they sold a
love
lot of
the New
Bloodline
Day.
shirts too, with Sami
But
Zayn on.
it's just that they've been together so long. It just feels like knowing WWE.
If Big E
It's
goes
coming.
heel, all three of them are pushed to the lower card.
Fuck no.
You know it, and I know it.
Nope.
Maybe, well, maybe Kofi's ready to retire because he's been doing it 20 years. Maybe Big E's the reason why he retires. Maybe something
All
like
right.
that.
We
Y'all
beat the
break
shit
it.
out of this.
Can you get a
That's-
broom and dustpan so I can sweep up my heart that y'all just broke over here?
No
fucking
listener questions except for Efren.
Assholes.
So is this a good time to talk about Triple H, James?
Oh, God. Might as well.
Devin,
Hell,
go
throw on
ahead.
some
What do you,
Sammy talk too. This will be a god trifecta.
Devin, go.
All right, so
Devin's D.
from our buddy Efren Blackjack from the game event on Premier Streaming Network, premiering soon. His question is there a venue that we wish the NWA would perform at?
Sure.
Daly's place.
2300 Arena. The old ECW Arena.
Is it because those two are closest to
Yeah.
YouTube?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Orlando would be
That's
dope.
exactly why.
You
The
know?
Cure Center in Trenton.
Well,
Madison
Daly's
Square
place
Garden.
because that's the con territory.
They were just in Jacksonville, I believe.
Daly's
There you go,
place.
James. It's only 8 hours for you, right?
Nah, 2.5,
That's all.
maybe 2.
Should have went to Enough
Probably
Said
2.
pay-per-view.
Maybe the Von Braun Center.
That'd be cool.
Huntsville, baby.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely a territorial answer for sure.
Hey. It's they're indies.
Yeah, whatever's close. You know?
All right, James, back to you, pal.
That was the only listener question we had, huh?
We had him earlier for Fritz.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was about to say you put an S on the outline. That means plural, Brad.
Sorry, pal.
Well, I
Nobody cared about
understand
it.
because
I write this before we have questions. So.
I hear you, man. It's been a rough weekend. I understand that.
It's
All right.
Thursday.
You got to have one loss all season. You fucking dick swinging all season. Hell, every Eagles game was doing the helicopter. It was just such a good damn time, wasn't it? All season, just talking shit. All
Keep talking.
season. I had to hear this shit. We're 40 something episodes in. There was 18 weeks of you blabbing ass about the Eagles.
That is not true.
Here we are.
That's not true at
Spirit
all.
of the NFC East. I hate every one of their teams. Shout out to your dude that's a Commanders fan. Fuck him too. Yeah, you know, their stadium leaks shit. Their stadium leaks shit water, and their field blows everybody's legs out. Fuck the Commanders. Daniel
Nothing
Snyder
like having
needs
your
to get the hell
blown
out.
out.
Daniel Snyder needs to sell the team. Straight up. We all know that. Like, but yeah. And the fact that we got to still sit with your dumbass Eagles, and more than likely we're probably gonna hear the same talk again here in about 7 months. Hey, but the XFL starts soon. Shout out Rock. You know?
Shout out Alabama.
Yeah, let's go, you know, more football. Because I'm glad to have more football because I had to see the Eagles on my fucking TV every game that they're on.
Are you talking about the USFL or whatever it's called?
XFL, man. Dewey.
No, but Brad said shout out Alabama.
I
The
meant
USFL.
You're right. I screwed up.
Oh yeah, we got XFL coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Baseball's
Saturday,
coming
actually.
up.
Yeah, who the
Well,
fuck?
Baseball.
the-
Yeah, who
whatever.
cares about baseball?
Spring training starts in 10 days.
Fuck baseball.
Come on.
You know, we didn't even talk about the Giants. Who gives a shit about the Giants? Coach of the year, good job. You know what Coach of the Year means? You took a dirt ass team and actually was competitive with them. Yeah. I don't know, man. Fuck your spirit of the NFC East. This is what I gotta say. I enjoyed every second of the comeback because I did not enjoy the first, you know, bit of that game. But, you know, everything aside, you know, hey, Jalen Hurts will tell you this best. At least we made it, you know? At least we made it. Because when he was at OU, Bama, you know, that was his motto. So, hey, at least you made it, man. I hope, can't wait to see that second place Super Bowl ring, you know? Shout out Jay. I pretty much just hate Jalen Hurts. That's all this was about. Fuck OU. Fuck the Eagles. Whatever. I wish you would have won so you'd burn that city to the ground. Back to you.
No, it's back to you.
I guess it is. Well, hey, it's time to get some laughs in. So, you know, Adam, the hottest rising segment in wrestling podcast today, Waka Waka Waka, because Lord knows the Eagles were a joke on Sunday, so we need something to laugh about. So, Adam, take it away.
Oh, well, first, you know, I don't know if whoever's watching the video version of our podcast, I'd like to take a second, like a moment of silence for my hair, because this that cut my hair. I wish to God she cut off way too much.
Let's take a peek.
So that's what I know. No, you can forget that.
Hey, on the video version, you can do your own lip reading on that one.
Waka waka waka.
I don't like saying bad words like that, but let me tell you what, she deserved it.
Does she spell
Adam,
her
we
name
just
with a
lost half
capital
our
C? Is that
fans
what you're trying
because
to
you said
say?
you cut your hair.
I showed her a picture of what I wanted, and it's nothing like the picture. The picture had a hair on it.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
Here goes Devyn.
I can't wait to see certain females' reactions to the hairless Adam.
No, one or two already know, and I've already made a T-shirt that says "Rest in peace, gone," but not.
Which you can buy.
Hit me up. I'll hook you up with that shirt. I'll just tell you where to get it. It's called "Rest in Peace." It's Adam's hair gone, but not forgotten. So I had to do something, you know.
That's
I got to profit somehow out of it. But so I'm going back to the hats for a little while. So hopefully, it'll be growing back by Top Guy Weekend. That way,
Dude.
Anthony Powers can run his fingers through my hair. I'm sorry.
Took
I'm sorry.
Give the listeners a reason to watch the video. Take the hat off for a second or two, Adam.
That's okay.
I really want to see it.
I did too.
I got my hat.
Don't
so that's
do
all
it,
that
man.
matters.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I got my hat, so I mean, now it feels weird wearing my hats.
See, this is enough right here. Don't do it. You know, like let the people wait, man. It's called intrigue.
I feel like I abandoned my hats. Now it just feels weird wearing them again. I wore that damn beanie for so long.
Yeah, your hair took a drastic turn.
Oh God Almighty! I took a turn on that. What? Oh God!
When I get a paycheck again, my hair is going to take a drastic turn.
It'll be back in 2 months though.
Hey, Adam, you got any special wonkas?
No, I just got 4 random ass ones. No, nothing special. I even wrote them down in what order I wanted to read them because I don't like them. I wasn't in a good mood when I wrote these. So, number 1, I told my wife I wanted to be cremated. She made me an appointment for Tuesday.
Nice. Murder, always a good joke.
Well, if there's an appointment made, I don't know the technicality of murder or not.
That's
but
true. Shout out Kevorkian, you know.
If there's an appointment made and all parties agree to it, I think you're good. I'm not. Alabama rules are different, but anyway. So I made a graph of all the past relationships I've had. It was an X axis and a Y axis.
Nice.
You know, like
Too
why
deep.
the hell did I go down that road?
They damn right.
Waka waka waka.
It wasn't a good graph at all. There was more Y's than X's. But anyway, so do you guys know what kind of tea that rich people buy?
Tea?
Yeah, tea. Yeah, tea.
No. What?
Nestle.
What kind of tea do rich people buy?
Green tea.
No, proper tea.
Ah!
I would never.
I like that
So
one.
they're
I
buying
never would
proper
have got that.
In my head, I'm thinking, well, it's not Louisiana. You know,
Yeah,
so-
definitely.
It's
Yeah.
not green tea. It's not Milo's. It's proper tea. All right, so my last
Shout out
one,
Saban Conrad.
like I half-assed it this week. I'm just gonna lie. I feel like I lost half my life when I saw the floor. When I left that place, I was like, really, lady? So I don't even want to talk about it. But
Waka
last
waka
one-
waka.
No, I wish to God it was a damn joke. But yesterday a book just fell on my head. I only had my shelf to blame.
Ah.
Damn
My
Yeah,
head
the
wasn't there to
shelf.
protect my head. So That's
I
what
heard
it
there's somebody that sent you a really cool, funny fucking joke.
I wonder who that
I'm starting to
was.
think you're sending them to the wrong damn number. It took me 4 months to get the first one you sent me.
You're probably just like Ben Jones and tagged Adam O'Neill.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Don't you dare talk about baby.
Oh, sorry, Bober. That's an inside joke.
There it is.
Speaking of getting tagged, hey Devyn, you want to do your demographic? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure.
That is good.
Yeah, swing it right to me. My demographic this week is watch out for fucking ice.
What the fuck?
So Tuesday, guys, this is serious. I was fucking walking on
Is
ice.
this a meth joke?
Flip. Nope. I piled
Sir,
on
are
the
you
ice.
in Alabama? What the hell? Are you?
I have a dislocated right shoulder.
What?
What?
My
can't
freaking
pick it
right
up?
shoulder. It's dislocated.
You're so
Ice
full of-
You better put it back in place.
Nope. I'll send
How
you.
long have you lived
I
in
gotta go to the
fucking
doctor
upstate
tomorrow.
New York?
You're
Why
you're
is
like
this
19. What the hell?
What are you talking
Why is
about
this the
here?
first we're hearing about this?
Because I
Yeah.
wanted to save
Yeah.
it for the show. But
Yeah, you've
In
never
2 hours
have you ever
in, you
seen
tell
ice
us?
before?
have I been using my right arm this
No,
show?
I'm looking at it now. It looks ridiculous.
So yeah, it's messed up. Just watch out for ice. It's freaking slippery outside. Well, not for you Southerners, but I guess.
It's 64 degrees in Philly.
Well,
It's 70. It's 76 right now.
It's I don't know where are
We just
you?
need that comment, like the more you know.
And,
Hey,
and
watch out
tomorrow
for
it's going to be
ice.
38.
it is 33 right now, and tomorrow it's going to be 32.
You're
Hey,
in New
Devin,
York.
it's cold outside. You should watch out for ice.
It's supposed to snow. Thanks, James. I'm gonna wear boots if I gotta walk outside again.
If you got to walk
Hey,
outside.
I get some of those things that goes over your shoes that has spikes on it. You can walk on ice.
Yeah.
I can send them to you.
Oh, they're called
Yeah.
spikes, right? Spikes?
That
I got some of those. I should just probably wear them.
It is.
Yeah, I
9
mean, if
o'clock
you got to
at
go
night.
out to your car or something like that, put them on.
It is 9 o'clock at night in Philly, and it's 53 degrees. Where are you? And you're in the Arctic?
I'm in Governor, New York, about
Governor?
25 minutes from the border.
Just so you know, you said it's going to snow tomorrow. It's going to be 62 here. We're not that far away.
Yeah, what the fuck's up with that?
All right, Mike, can you make anything to like make me recoup over this really quick? Or
No,
Can I
there's
make anything for you?
no,
Well,
no.
don't
meat
stand
minute.
on any
He says
ice
it,
when you're
no
cooking.
meat minute.
no
There's
meat minute?
Meat minute.
Oh,
He did
it's
a
on the outline,
27.
but
He did a 27-minute topic to replace the meat minute.
Yes,
Oh, that's
because I worked so
27
hard on
minutes.
that topic.
I prefer the meat minute.
Mike, do a meat minute if you got
Fuck
one.
you, Devin.
I got one. Hey, I
It's a
got
meat
one.
minute.
I
Cook
knew this
noodles.
bullshit was gonna happen. I knew
Boiled
this bullshit
noodles.
was gonna happen.
Hey,
No.
well, I'm gonna trade this up. Oh well, if they want me to do it.
He just happens to have a recipe right there beside us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So he's like, oh, what do you know? I have one
It's
right
already
here.
here.
What do you know?
Here's your outline.
How about
bitches.
spinach, artichoke, stuffed garlic bread?
Yeah, that
baked
sounds like
spinach
great
artichoke?
fucking meat, Mike.
I'm out.
Mike's meal minute. Meal.
There we go. Mike's meal.
So you need a block
Follow
of
that.
cream
Like Mike's
cheese.
diarrhea minute.
You need 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. You need 1 cup of spinach. You need 1 cup of artichoke hearts. And you need a teaspoon of garlic powder. Take all that shit, mix it together. And then you need a whole loaf of garlic bread. You
Wouldn't
want
it
to
just
cut the
be
inside?
bread and then you add that?
Yeah, you just a whole loaf of bread. You know that shit you can get at Walmart. Okay.
A
So you
baguette?
cut the inside out. You want it hollow. Like this, where it's like this in the middle.
Can you just shove a
Okay.
can through it? How do you hollow it out?
Shut up.
You just take a knife or a spoon or something and cut it up in little
Spoon?
pieces. Yeah, you slice it up in little pieces and you
Oh,
hollow
so
it
you
out.
want to save the insides?
You don't want the insides. You want the insides out. You want the whole loaf of bread, the whole loaf. Take the insides out, and then you stuff the artichoke.
Kind of like a
stuffing
blunt, Devin.
mix.
You want the insides out of it. It's like a blunt.
Oh, I got you. Keep
Yeah.
going. Mike.
Okay. So then you stuff it with the mix. Then you want to take melted butter, minced garlic, parsley, and you rub it on top of the bread. And then you want to wrap it in aluminum foil. You bake
use
at 300
capers?
feet. Huh? Yeah,
Does
you
the
use
recipe have
capers.
capers?
Yep.
What's
then
minced
you-
garlic? Did you say mint? Like the flavor mint garlic?
No, minced garlic.
I
Minced,
thought
like
I heard
little-
mint.
No, minced garlic.
Oh,
And
okay,
then you-
mint. Okay.
Wrap it up in aluminum foil.
That's
Turn
what
your
she
oven
said.
on 350 degrees. Throw it in there for 20 minutes. And you eat it. Serve with like
Oh,
a side
so
like
what's the
tomato
meat part
sauce.
of the meat minute?
What a bunch of bullshit.
The hearts out of the artichoke. It has a little bit of meat in it.
Little protein.
I cannot
Yeah.
wait till my dad hears that. You know.
I can't eat it. So much shit for it.
Hey, it does sound good though. I love garlic bread. I ain't gonna
Fuck
lie.
yeah.
What
Oh,
happens
there's
if it
a
There's
turns
a
to
couple of them. I
sourdough?
mean, you can also
Don,
take.
Mike didn't miss a beat this episode, did he?
Well, what
You
happens
can
if
also-
it
you
turns
can
to
also take some,
sourdough? Do we still eat it?
You can also take some chicken and wrap it up with mozzarella cheese and put a bit of like spaghetti
Bonus
sauce on it
content.
and stuff it in there.
Yeah,
and
why
you
not?
got
Actual
stuffed garlic
meat
bread,
on the meat.
chicken parmesan.
I still
Yeah.
think you should keep the insides of the bread and do something with it, like make it a dip
Shut up.
after or something. Like you just wasted it all.
Make
tossing
stuffing,
it.
dude. That's pretty much what stuffing is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Look,
yes.
whatever
There you go. You got a
Alright,
side.
so, Devin, when you cut a blunt
Devin,
open,
I
do
never
do
said
anything
you
with
throw
the
it
insides of it?
away. I never said you throw it away. Never said throw it away. You do whatever the fuck you want to do with it.
Adam, that's a question for a bonus show.
Okay. 'cause,
Yeah.
You know, by your logic, when you take the guts out of that, you got to use it for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you use the contents of that for?
What are we doing right now?
I don't know. I'm on the
Yeah.
spot. I don't like it.
I have lightning literally coming out of my head.
Brad, to you. What's going on, brother?
I would say go to the outline, but Brad already ripped it up.
So we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about next week.
Next
Adam.
week is
Talk about it.
Big day.
well, I
next
appreciate that,
week-
Mike. You know, garlic bread is bomb.
So
So
next
what's next week, guys? 'Cause I don't fucking know.
So next week, the outline does say Mike's Meat Minute, by the way. I'm sitting here looking at it.
He substituted.
I don't see anywhere where it says substitute. But anyway, next week, I was going to make sure I was next.
You should have joined on time, and you would have figured it out.
I was actually a minute early. So
You know what? Adam, I think, has been behind every single guest we've ever had.
Except for this one.
Yeah.
I was on time today.
Well,
I had like 40
Mr.
seconds.
Fritz, who was an amazing interview. Mr. Fritz
Absolutely.
was, before you.
That's the only reason why I was on time. Anyway, next week, you know, to kind of keep the flow of New South wrestling coming and going, I want to pick two matches that kind of highlight the New South champion, the current New South champion, Kenzie Page. And one I found is, I hate to go back to the rivalry deal or the tag team breakup deal, but she had an awesome feud with Dylan McQueen. And he's actually one of the guys that's in, he was number 16 in the Hoss tournament. It's going to be him versus actually Kenzie Page's little sister in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to pick a match with her when Dylan, right after they had their split up after they lost the tag team titles for New South. And then I believe we're going to go with Rolando Perez, which we talked about earlier, versus Kenzie Page. And that's actually when she won the Humongo New South Championship.
What were you about to say?
That'll be two matches that I believe we're going to do next week.
Okay, perfect.
And also be
speaking of next week,
we'll be looking for Carmen Michael. We're going to do an interview with him. It's going to be like a little 30, 40-minute sit down. He confirmed just a little while ago. So just be on the lookout for
breaking news that you're a week old for now. But hey, breaking
it'll
news.
already have aired.
Probably.
Yep. It's
So
already.
make sure y'all listen to the interview that we did.
Yeah.
What, very insightful.
And speaking of next week, I know we need like the listens and downloads. So I'm sorry, you guys. You know, next week might not be as big. I won't be on next week. I have a wedding to go to in Florida. So luckily I get to meet with Mr. Elquire while I'm
Yeah,
down
hey
there.
man, we may do a little something, shoot it in that episode. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. But so next week I will not be
Fuck off,
a
Brad.
full
I'm
participant in there. So
I missed that.
if you don't listen, I kind of understand. But you know, give my guys their credit. They come on for them.
Thanks.
I know you
When
guys.
this
like to
airs,
come on
I
for
may
me
be
and-
seeing Mike a day later.
All right, Adam. So we
Yeah.
have our two matches. Can you just say what they were again?
So they'll be on YouTube. I already looked them up. It'll be Kenzie Page versus Dylan McQueen. Like I said, it has to do with their breakup when they lost the tag team titles. Dylan actually turned on Kenzie Page just before she turned on the crowd. So, and Dylan McQueen is somebody you really need to keep an eye on because he's been on AEW Dark. I think he's a product of the Cody Rhodes, what do they call the gym out there in Georgia?
Yeah, the factory.
Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, I think he's a part of the Nightmare Factory. And the other one's going to be Kenzie Page versus Rolando Perez, which he goes by Rolando something else on NWA. I can't remember his last name on NWA.
Rolando Freeman.
So she's
Yeah,
facing
Freeman.
men in both matches?
Both matches, it's her versus a guy.
Perfect.
And
Perfect for
I'm
the
not going
curve.
to tell you how the Dylan McQueen one ends, but the one where she won the title versus Rolando Perez, it's pretty good.
Perfect. Thanks, Adam.
Those are two good matches for us to discuss, honestly. You know, because kind of our thing on the show. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's very fitting.
Yeah.
Good match selections, Adam. You know, you're actually really good at this. There's some just bald asshole that just picks whatever the fuck he wants.
It's kind of like
Nothing ever
I've,
relates when he picks matches.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
kind
I've
of
been
like I've been in the business before or something, you know.
And proof
Oh,
that I
well,
have.
as a you know, as a wrestler.
Yeah.
But all right, so I know we're shutting down everything, but I'll go ahead and do my little tagline. Catch me, Adam _from _Bama. We got new T-shirts and stuff coming out, new colors, new themes. Holler at us. And I actually started another phone line that I'm only going to do like kick out crew stuff on the phone. So I got to talk to you guys.
We
about
got a
that.
hotline? Are you mean cheating us right now? We got a fucking
Yeah,
hotline?
We got a cock line.
I got it right now.
Damn.
I'm going to use this
Cock
just
line.
for kick out crew stuff. I got it for the interviews and stuff and whatnot, but I even might keep it for after that as well.
Oh man, I can't wait to leave it voicemails when I'm wasted.
You might get one tonight.
All right, before we close here, I really want to thank Jarrod Fritz for being on the show. He was an absolutely great guest that we had here today. Again,
Amazing guest.
That was awesome. That was good shit.
One of the biggest guests that we've had on so far, and it was a ton of fun. You can follow him again on Twitter at JFritzRefFit and on Instagram at Jarrod.Fritz. And I'm Devyn D19. You know me.
I'm Brad at Yes Man Brad on Twitter. This is another fun episode. Anyway,
You love this, don't you?
we don't do this anymore. Just a heads up. But James is really happy that it's back.
It's just funny how it just like,
He's like,
well, everybody's got to introduce themselves. You know what I'm saying?
no one did it anyway.
Mike, hey, Mike, you're up next. Tell the people how they
Yeah,
can
I'm
reach you.
Mike at Whitaker 1028. Hit me up.
Send
Not next week, though.
And
Oh yeah, not next week though, because I'm busy next week.
recipes.
You
stuff
still
like
hit him
that.
up.
Yeah,
Or don't.
I got you. Well, I am at James L. Cori. It's my name, and you can follow us on Twitter at Kickout Crew. You can watch us on YouTube. Man, we have a blast. I do want to thank, we had some little Fritzmagic earlier, and that was a really good interview. And fuck me, I'm pretty excited that it happened. It was really good. And let's see, we got a Instagram, Kickout Crew. We have a TikTok. We have all the shits. So just follow whatever, like and subscribe. Who gives a fuck if you watch it or not? But
We're supposed
definitely
to have a Snapchat.
wherever you get your podcast and watch on YouTube. And this is a really good episode. Can't wait for next week. We got a bunch of big things planned coming up. This will be our little Haas preview, so definitely check that out. We partnered with New South, and I think that's going to be very much fun. And you never know what will happen at the big Haas New South tournament. But I guess I blabbed on too much, and hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And oh, wait a minute, we're not going to end it that way. Because every now and then, there are hardships in your life. And sometimes you go through some tough times. I mean, look at us. Like, it just bluegrass and shit, and here we are, just making things happen. You know why? Because sometimes when life gets you down, you just got to motherfucking kick out it too. Because that's what we do on your show, and that's what you do because you're enjoying it with us, and we love that. Your show, the Kick Out Crew. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
I do have to say, if I would have seen Devyn slip on ice and fall, I might have laughed a little bit.
Peace.
Thanks, Mike.